Chapter 5265. Was it that bastard princess? It seemed that the other party was going to make a move on her. Yun Yu's eyes were filled with despair, and the other suppressed souls were also roaring in horror. But soon they were stunned because they found that it was not the princess of the underworld. Especially Hanyu, her eyes were red. It was young master. She didn't expect it to be Lin Xian. Was he here to save her? At this moment, she was really too excited. Lin Xian came in front of her like a god, and with a wave of his hand, the chains on Yun Yu's body shattered. "Don't worry, you're safe from now on," Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Yun Yu was so excited. She directly threw herself into Lin Xian's arms, but when she saw Morong Qingqing and Yen Ryu coming from behind, she came back to her senses. She immediately stood up straight and lowered her head shyly. "Thank you for saving my life, young master. You rest first, I'll deal with that old thing." Lin Xian's eyes erupted with an extremely terrifying light, and he raised his head and looked into the distance. He sensed an extremely terrifying power and rushed over here. "Oh no, young master, be careful. That's the existence of the peak of the Supreme Sage." Yun Yu was extremely worried. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Don't worry, I have a way." The suppressed souls around were surprised. This young man wanted to challenge the peak of the Supreme Sage? What kind of joke was this? Did he know the terror of the Abyss of Souls and the Abyss Master? Lin Xian ignored these people at all. He rose into the air and flew outside. At the same time, he shouted coldly, "Old thing, get out." This voice resounded through the 9 heavens, so that everyone in the Abyss of Souls heard it. God, did I hear wrongly? Someone is challenging the Abyss Master. Who was it that was so reckless? Is it the young man from before? Shocked voices could be heard one after another. At the same time, in the depths of the Abyss of Souls, an old voice also came. "Stupid thing, you haven't left yet. Well, I'll catch you and tear you into pieces so that you can never rise again." Boom! A palm came crashing down from the sky, carrying with it an extremely terrifying soul aura. Everyone in the Abyss of Souls prostrated themselves on the ground. "Heavens! It really is the Abyss Master!" Someone exclaimed. Abyss Lord made a move. That brat was dead for sure. Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian used Shadowless Heaven's net and quickly dodged. At the same time, with the help of the demon god wings, he instantly dodged to the place where he had been. It was completely shattered. The golden radiance in his eyes dimmed. It had to be said that the pinnacle of the great sage realm was absolutely terrifying. The Abyss Lord walked out and sneered. "You are no match for me. You, a puny little great sage initial stage, dare to contend with me? Fine, I'll let you know the difference between us." So what if the other party was Lin Wudi? No matter how strong he was just a young man. Today he would make the other party despair. An extremely terrifying aura bloomed from the Abyss Lord. In the dungeon, the souls that had been suppressed were also shocked. It was over. That young man was dead meat. That's right, he really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Yun Yu snorted coldly. What do you know? Young master was the strongest. He was an invincible existence. Invincible? The surrounding souls shook their heads. This should only be relative to the young man, looking at the entire universe, who dared to claim to be invincible. Young man, go to hell. The Abyss Lord in the sky made a move again. The souls retracted, covering the sky and the earth. At the same time, the other hand also grabbed out. This time, he would not give the other party a chance. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He stood there without moving. Those soul powerhouses kneeling on the ground sighed when they saw this scene. This young man had been scared silly. It seemed that after this blow, he would definitely die. However, at this time, a vortex appeared beside Lin Xian. Then a crack appeared. In the next moment, the phantom of a sword appeared and shrouded the surroundings from all directions. What was this? Sacred domain? The soul powerhouse was surprised, then shook his head. Did he think his sacred domain could compete with a great sage peak? He was too naive. Boom. The Abyss Lord also sneered. He was really stupid. Even if he took out a stronger weapon, he was no match for him. He sneered and sped up. The power on his palm was even more terrifying. The other party's sacred domain was definitely torn apart. However, when these two attacks hit it, it made a shocking sound. However, it did not shatter the sacred domain. Instead, it was engulfed by the phantom of that world. What was this? The Abyss Lord was stunned. The others were also dumbfounded. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lin Xian made another move. The sword world enveloped the Abyss Lord. When the Abyss Lord was enveloped by this phantom, his body immediately sank. His pupils constricted. What a terrifying pressure. The other party's winning rate actually had such pressure. It was too unbelievable. He knew that the pressure in the immortal land was much more terrifying than the outside world. After the experts from the outside came in, they were all weaker than the experts here. This was also the reason why he was so confident, because they had been in the immortal land all year round. They had long adapted to this pressure. The same powerhouse was no match for him at all. But now, the phantom of this world brought about even more terrifying pressure than the immortal land. He was too surprised. Did the other party have any magic treasure in his hand? In the next moment, Lin Xian arrived in front of the other party and sneered. "Welcome to my world. This is the place where you will fall. Your world." A mere phantom dared to be called a world. Also, do you think that you can defeat me with this little pressure? You are too naive. Even if my strength is suppressed, it is still not something you can contend against. An extremely terrifying light erupted from his eyes, turning into two blade lights that slashed over. The other party's soul could not withstand it at all. Lin Xian's eyes shone brightly, and then formed a reincarnation mountain to block. With a clang, it was forced back, but it blocked the attack. Lin Xian laughed. "You are only SOSO. He actually blocked it. The Abyss Lord's face was gloomy and cold. It seemed that the suppression here was much more terrifying than he had imagined. At the same time, he was surprised. The other party's golden eyes were really too strange. What was that? Why did he feel a trace of the power of reincarnation? It seems that you should have a strange eye technique, and a very precious one at that. Fine, I'll kill you. Taking your eyes can allow me to go further on the path of the underworld. Maybe I can use this to break through and become a quasi-emperor." The Abyss Lord was really overjoyed. This kind of precious eye was definitely a heaven-defying bloodline, so he must get it. In the next moment, the light in his eyes became even more terrifying. The boundless sea of souls rushed over in an overwhelming manner. It surrounded the reincarnation mountain. This was a confrontation of souls which was very dangerous. If one was not careful, the soul would be shattered. The reincarnation mountain shook violently. Lin Xian snorted coldly. In the next moment, he held the hell sword in his hand and slashed out. Chapter 5266. Ridiculous! You want to cut my soul with your sword? Stupid! The Abyss Lord sneered. However, in the next moment, his expression changed. Because he found that the other party's sword could really cut through his soul attack. He screamed miserably and retreated. "Damn it! What's going on? This is impossible." There's something wrong with his sword technique. The Abyss Lord was really shocked. What kind of sword technique was this? He had never heard of it. Damn it! I didn't expect this kid to not only have a pair of magical eyes, but also such a strange sword technique. The other party really had too many secrets. Very good. An unexpected joy. Everything you have is mine. He roared angrily and charged out again. A large black flag appeared in his hand, with countless souls revolving around it. This was the soul's sacred artifact that he had refined, and it was abnormally terrifying. Hand over your soul to me. The black flag covered the sky and covered the earth as it charged over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The hell sword slashed out, and the two fought. It's useless. My weapon is a legendary holy weapon. What can you use to fight me? The Abyss Lord laughed out loud, although as he fought with Lin Xian and flew inside, he felt more and more pressure. But he believed that in 3 more moves, he would be able to completely suppress the other party. At that time, when he collected the other party's soul, the other party's secret would be his. Legendary holy weapon? So what? I'll let you see my weapon. Lin Xian took out the heaven-swallowing jar and slammed it forward. With a boom, the black flag was sent flying. The Abyss Lord spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his expression became terrified. What is this? The black vortex was enough to swallow everything. This aura? The aura of the extreme Tao. Could it be an extreme Tao weapon? That's right, this is an extreme Tao weapon. If you compete with me in terms of weapons, I can only say that you are courting death. Who exactly are you? Yes, not only is Fong powerful, he can also take out an extreme Tao weapon. Are you the emperor? Lin Xian sneered. You don't have the qualifications to know. Now, I'll use you to verify my strength. Lin Xian's eyes erupted with an extremely terrifying light. The heaven-swallowing jar restrained the other party's legendary holy weapon, and at the same time, the surrounding sword world's power also pressed down. As a result, both of them had to carry 100,000 mountains on their backs. Lin Xian often felt this pressure, so he had no problem with it. However, the Abyss Lord's blood was boiling, and his face turned pale. Not good. This pressure is really too terrifying. There was something wrong with this world. This was definitely not the other party's Saint Domain. He had arrived at a mystical space. What exactly was this? Kill. Here Lin Xian charged out. He could feel that his opponent's strength had been greatly suppressed. Of course, he was still stronger than regular saints, but Lin Xian was confident that he could contend against him. The 6 paths fist pressed forward with indomitable will. The phantoms of 6 worlds instantly enveloped the other party. He continued to crush them. Abyss Lord's blood and chi surged, the clothes on his body in tatters. He roared angrily, "You are courting death." With a wave of its sharp claws, it shattered the illusions of the 6 worlds. He struck out with his palm. Young man, let me tell you, what is absolute power? So what if he was suppressed? So what if he didn't have a legendary saint weapon? The Abyss Master was strong enough to break everything. Even though he was a master of the chaos path, his physique and laws were still extremely powerful. This was the terror of a peak great sage. Couldn't he beat a young man? Vengeful soul curse. The Abyss Lord formed a seal with his palms, and suddenly endless, vengeful spirits flew out of his sleeves. They roared at the sky, and a terrifying sound rushed over. This was a peerless, great magical power, enough to shatter a person's soul, falling into hell and never coming out. What can a mere vengeful spirit do to me? 9 Suns' divine fist. Lin Xian activated the 9 Suns' divine body, and the flames of the purest yang flew out. It turned into 6 suns, sweeping away those vengeful spirits between heaven and earth. Encountering this purest yang power, they were instantly turned into ashes. Being burned by this raging fire, the Abyss Lord also kept retreating. Cracks appeared on his sleeves again. Damn it, what a terrifying flame. It could restrain him. Soul Sea, he roared, and his Soul Sea appeared behind him, sweeping toward Yi Fuqian from all directions. These souls were not only vengeful spirits, but also all kinds of powerful creatures. These were the souls of the powerhouses he had collected for thousands of years. Let's see how you fight this time. The souls in the Soul Sea were not afraid of the purest yang flame at all. They quickly rushed over. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms. The Tai Chi diagram appeared all over his body, and the power of yin and yang emerged. The Tai Chi diagram rotated, forming a killing blow covering the entire soul's sea. The yin and yang aura inside collided violently with the soul's sea. The mixed sea was finally completely suppressed. Damn it, the Abyss Lord vomited blood again. What's going on? No matter what kind of technique he used, the other party could suppress it. Damn it, I don't believe it. Damn it. An extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes, and at the same time, his soul left his body, forming a small person roaring at the sky. The small person, holding the black cauldron, quickly rushed over. Lin Xian snorted coldly, covering his body with demonic energy. He used the illusion demon scripture. The powerful Great Emperor's divine ability resisted it. Next, the Abyss Lord used 100 kinds of soul attacks, but they were all blocked by the Great Emperor's divine ability. This made him almost collapse. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Do you still have any tricks? If not, then I'll send you on your way. The Tai Chi diagram suddenly erupted, turning into Yin God and Yang God charging forward. The Abyss Lord kept retreating. Lin Xian flew up and fought with him in close combat. The Demon Emperor's divine ability was used to the extreme, forcing the Abyss Lord's body to retreat. At the same time, he slashed out with his sword, splitting the Abyss Lord into two halves. The Abyss Lord completely collapsed at this moment. He, a peak great sage, was seriously injured. Damn it, I don't believe it. He resisted, but his injuries were getting worse and worse. Damn it, retreat. He must leave. This world was too strange. He had to leave this space. After going out, it would not be suppressed. In that way, his strength would be 10 times, 100 times stronger than before. At that time, it would be easy for him to kill the other party. But how could Lin Xian let the other party leave? The Tai Chi diagram kept chasing, and the 9 Yang divine fire was overwhelming. Damn it, you're courting death. The Abyss Lord roared. The small black cauldron in his soul's hand kept spinning, flickering with light. Then it fell down. There was blood inside, the blood of a saint, and it was extremely terrifying. This was condensed from the blood of 9 peak great sages when they died. After 1,000 years of cultivation, it has long been terrifying to the extreme. This is my killing method. I didn't expect to use it in the hands of a young man like you today. Well, you're dead. The secrets on your body are enough to make up for my loss. The blood of 9 peak great sages blotted out heaven and earth as it shot toward Yang Qi. It turned into a river of blood. Instantly came in front of Lin Xian, circling around Lin Xian. Destroy. The Abyss Lord snorted coldly, his expression ferocious. The next moment, he could get the treasure. Chapter 52-67. Feeling the power of the sea of blood, Lin Xian did not dare to be careless. There was an extremely terrifying murderous aura on it, but fortunately in the sword world, this power was also suppressed. Moreover, Lin Xian was not without a trump card. He snorted coldly. Lin Xian used the demon summoning scripture with all his strength. Endless devil chi condensed behind him, and a devil shadow appeared. As soon as the devil shadow appeared, he looked down on the world like a demon god. The pupils of the Abyss Lord in the distance also shrank. This aura was? He was really frightened. It seemed to be an existence that he could not understand. As soon as the devil shadow appeared, he raised his right hand and slapped the devil god seal. The sea of blood formed by the 9 great sages in front of him was instantly shattered at this moment. Puff! The soul of the Abyss Lord spat out blood, and cracks appeared on it. His eyes were bleeding. He couldn't believe it. Was it broken? This was his super powerful trump card, and he was reluctant to use it. Originally, he thought that he could end this battle, but who would have thought that it would be easily broken by the other party? For a moment, he was stunned. Lin Xian looked at the other party and said indifferently, "Do you still have a trump card? If not, I will send you on your way." "Don't be arrogant," the Abyss Lord sneered. "I admit that your trump card is very strong. In the younger generation, it is rare, but so what? I have not lost yet. The devil shadow behind you should be a peerless divine ability. Can you use it a second time?" The Abyss Lord sneered. He could see that the devil shadow had disappeared. In his opinion, the other party only had this one life-saving method, and it would definitely not be able to block his next attack. His palms kept forming seals, and his soul returned to his body. At the same time, his eyes burst out with an astonishing light. Buzz. In the next moment, something magical happened. 5 souls appeared in 5 directions around him. The light and laws on each one were different. "Kid, you are very honored to be able to see my strongest skill. I will let you see the 5 souls' ascension. This is what I got in a very mysterious cave in the immortal ground. It can allow a person's soul to condense and form 5 souls. Golden soul, water soul, fire soul, wood soul, earth soul. Once I successfully cultivate it, my soul power will be 5 times stronger than others of the same level. Among those at the peak of the great sage realm, there are not many who can compete with me in terms of soul power. Once it was cultivated to the highest level, the 5 souls would become one, and one would be able to form the origin magnetic immortal soul. At that time, my soul will surpass the sacred realm and might even become the soul of a martial monarch. Even though I haven't reached the final step yet, the ascension of 5 souls isn't something you can go against." As soon as he finished speaking, the 5 souls around him released a terrifying aura. The formless aura combined with the power of the soul was terrifying to the extreme. "You still have a trump card, right? 5 souls?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. "That's right. But so what?" Now that he was in Sword World, he would not let the other party leave. The wings of the demon god unfurled behind his back, tearing the void apart as he arrived before Zhang Xian in an instant. Then he slashed out with his sword, which turned into a full moon and attacked the martial spirit. What a terrifying speed! What a terrifying sword technique! The Abyss Lord's pupils shrank, and he quickly retreated. The 5 souls were knocked back. Light flickered on them, but they did not disappear. Lin Xian was also surprised. These 5 souls were really powerful. To be able to withstand the Azure Sword technique, one must know that it was a martial monarch's ability, a killing technique, but the other party was not penetrated. "You want to destroy my 5 souls? Dream on. The next moment will be your moment of despair." With a wave of the Abyss Lord's hand, the 5 souls flew out and scattered to the heavens and the earth. In 5 directions, they enveloped Lin Xian. The 5 souls formed a seal with their palms. Fire soul. A flaming divine sword appeared in his hand and slashed down. Water soul, on the other hand, shot out a pagoda. Golden soul, wood soul, and earth soul also made their moves. The 5 of them worked together endlessly, and the power was truly terrifying. Lin Xian used the Reincarnation Mountain Peak to block. Boom. In an instant, the Reincarnation Mountain Peak shattered. His pupils shrank and his body swayed. Using his movement technique to the extreme, he dodged these attacks as if he had teleported. "Useless brat, you can dodge once, but can you dodge 10 times? You will die without a doubt." Seeing the other party in such a sorry state, the Abyss Lord laughed out loud. This time, the other party could no longer live. Boom. The 5 souls launched another attack. This time, it was even more terrifying. Finally, it enveloped Lin Xian. With a loud bang, that place was completely covered by the laws. "Die. Your soul definitely can't live." He was really too happy. Roar. Suddenly, a terrifying dragon roar sounded, shaking heaven and earth. Then, a sword light swept across the sky, as if a giant dragon was flying above the 9 heavens. The giant dragon fell, and the sword chi spread out. All the soul laws launched by the 5 souls were instantly torn apart. Damn it, what's going on? What happened? The Abyss Lord was stunned. Does that kid still have a trump card? This is too terrifying. Your means are strong, but it's a pity that you met me. Lin Xian held the great dragon sword soul in his hand and walked over like a killing god. With a slash of the sword, the 5 souls were destroyed. The Abyss Lord vomited a large mouthful of blood. His body was torn apart, and his soul was also shattered. No, how could it be? The 5 souls were originally one with him. When the 5 souls were destroyed, he was seriously injured. At the same time, he was desperate. That was his strongest trump card. He got it in the celestial land. It was definitely left behind by the unparalleled powerhouse of the Yuhua celestial dynasty. However, it was easily destroyed by the other party. What kind of sword is this? Is the other party already so strong? No, don't kill me. I'll give you whatever you want. Just let me go. Abyss. At this moment, he was finally afraid. He didn't want the demeanor of a powerhouse anymore. He just wanted to live. It wasn't easy to cultivate to his level. Lin Xian's expression was cold. He raised the great dragon sword soul and slashed out, splitting the other party's body in half. The Abyss Lord was already seriously injured. How could he resist at this moment? With one slash, he fell. Lin Xian's face was pale. He waved his hand and used the power of the sword world to suppress the other party's body. At the same time, he sat down cross-legged and began to use the power of the 4 Spirit Valley to recover. In the distance, the Hell-Fire Dragon flew over and said, "Boy, your strength improved very quickly. You can even kill a peak great sage now." Lin Xian opened his eyes and shook his head. He couldn't be considered a true peak great sage. He was at least half suppressed in this world. He was only a little stronger than a great sage. If I wanted to kill him outside, I'm afraid I would have to fully recover my extreme weapon. After that, he closed his eyes again and began to recover. The Hell-Fire Dragon next to him also nodded. He was not arrogant after winning. He was indeed a promising person. And he believed that it wouldn't be long before Lin Xian could kill a peak great sage with his own strength outside. I'm looking forward to the scene of you reaching the peak of the universe. The Hellfire Dragon smiled. Lin Xian recovered his soul and power. Then he walked forward and began to absorb the other party's soul. At the same time, he took the other party's storage ring. Chapter 5268. There were indeed a lot of resources in the other party's storage ring, all of which were used to cultivate the soul, which made Lin Xian extremely happy. Also, he found that the cultivation method of the other party's 5 soul ascension was also there, which was also a good divine ability. If there was a chance, he could also cultivate it. More importantly, as the Abyss Lord of the Abyss of Souls, the other party must have an extremely mysterious cultivation place. Next, Lin Xian would go to that place and begin to cultivate his Tianji divine eyes. With a sway of his body, Lin Xian left the world and walked out. Those people outside were still waiting. They saw a light flickering in the sky. They were all waiting patiently. They didn't know what method this Lin Xian used to be able to hold on for so long. Some people were surprised. Some people sneered no matter what he did, he would definitely die. Just wait, the final victory would definitely be the Abyss Lord. These people were extremely confident, but at this time, the terrifying light in the void above suddenly disappeared. Then a figure walked out. Look, the Abyss Lord came out. These people all stood up. However, when they found that it was Lin Xian who came out, they were stunned. How could it be this kid? Didn't the Abyss Lord kill him? Impossible. Where was the Abyss Lord? Where did he go? Countless terrified roars could be heard. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Abyss Lord's body fell from the sky and smashed the ground. This is your Abyss Lord. No, Those soul powerhouses below all knelt on the ground when they saw this scene. Their abyss lord was dead, and he died in the hands of a young man. It was too terrifying. What happened before? They couldn't know, but they only knew the result. How could it be? This young man had already defied the heavens. They trembled in fear. Yunyu in the dungeon, they were even happier. Great, I knew the young master could do it. The other souls that had been suppressed were filled with shock. He had really done it. Who was he? Who exactly was he? He was Lin Wudi. Lin Wudi and Morong Qingcheng, who were on the supreme list, also said proudly, Lin Wudi. The surrounding people deeply engraved this name in their hearts. In the next moment, Morong Qingcheng and the others rose into the air and flew towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his hand and left. He flew deeper into the mansion. There were countless formation runes there, but Lin Xian took out a command medallion from the man's storage ring and waved it gently, opening all of the formation runes. Lin Xian and his group quickly entered and disappeared. The people outside were dumbfounded and stood there in a daze. After entering, Yan Ruyu and the others were also astonished. What a terrifying place. I can feel the soul energy here. It's extremely terrifying. This Abyss Lord was not ordinary. Even compared to the great sage peak of the same level, his soul was beyond imagination. Lin Xian nodded. That's right, this person was very strong. Indeed, if not for the fact that the sword world had an extremely strong suppressive effect, it would not have been easy for Lin Xian to kill the other party. Everyone, make good use of this opportunity to cultivate. Lin Xian walked forward. Morong Qingcheng and the others also found a place to start cultivating. All the soul resources here were used by them. Lin Xian sat, cross-legged in the soul sea. The terrifying power enveloped his soul. He formed a seal with his palms and cultivated the heavenly secret divine pupil with all his strength. The soul powerhouses outside were still frightened. Suddenly, they found that a crack appeared in the sky, and the earth was collapsing. One spirit vein after another shattered. Not good, this is the spirit vein. At this moment, it actually shattered. Could it be that the abyss of souls no longer exists? Damn it, is it those brats? They went in and absorbed the soul energy again. These people were crazy. The abyss of souls had an extremely terrifying source of souls. Under the earth, there were spirit veins everywhere. This was the holy land of soul cultivation. Usually, these powerhouses could also come, but they could only stay for a few days and could only cultivate at the edge. The real core area was the place where the soul overlord cultivated. But even a soul overlord would not absorb so crazily. After all, once the spirit vein was broken, it would take tens of thousands of years, or even tens of thousands of years to recover. No one would do that. But Lin Xian and the others were different. Lin Xian came to the abyss of souls this time. He did not know when the next time would be. Naturally, he would not give up, so he absorbed without reservation. The origin of chaos kept shattering. Boulders collapsed, and the earth cracked. The surrounding people were terrified. Hurry up and escape. They all ran away. They had no choice. If they stayed here any longer, they would probably be torn to pieces by this force. As for snatching the resources, what a joke. Even the Abyss Lord was dead. Who would dare to attack that young man? They could only run away. The seal in the dungeon was broken, and the suppressed souls also left. Boom. The abyss of souls began to shatter, and Lin Xian and the others were shrouded in a soul storm. Their soul power was increasing at an unimaginable speed. This was the so-called opportunity in the deity ground. Boom. Morong Qingcheng roared. The phantom of a phoenix appeared, and her soul reached a higher level. Yan Ruyu was the same. Even Zixing and Yunyue had improved. Their souls had reached a state of saturation, and they could not absorb for the time being. So they retreated and looked ahead carefully. They were surprised. No way, Lin Gongzi could still absorb. It was incredible. They were like buckets, and there was a limit to how much water they could hold. But now, Lin Xian was like a bottomless pit. It was really amazing. No wonder he could be called a supreme. Boom. Suddenly, Lin Xian roared. He opened his eyes, and golden light shrouded the world. The soul storm also trembled violently. A pair of eyes appeared in the surroundings. A pair of eyes with endless vortexes. It was as if they were going to reincarnate into hell. It was terrifying. Zixing was shocked. Even Yan Ruyu and the others were shocked. Could it be that he broke through to the Rinnegan? They were too surprised. They naturally knew that Lin Xian's God's Eye of Weather. If it went one step further, it would be the Eye of Reincarnation. It was just that that kind of eye had not appeared for tens of thousands of years. Was it going to appear on Lin Xian now? The soul storm below gradually weakened. Murong Qingqing's expression changed. The power of the Path of Souls was disappearing. Was it going to fail? Yan Ryu also frowned. The Rinnegan was too mysterious. The power it needed was beyond their imagination. Lin Xian also noticed this. In the next moment, he was extremely decisive. He closed his left eye and focused on cultivating his right eye. First, he would try to evolve one eye into the Rinnegan. After cultivating one eye, all the soul power in the sky poured into the right eye. The mysterious atmosphere above the right eye became more and more terrifying. In the next moment, everyone in the abyss of souls felt it. At this moment, they felt as if they were being looked down on by a god. Chapter 52-69. Murong Qingqing, Yan Ruyu, and the others were also shocked when they felt this power. What a terrifying eye. They couldn't bear it. They all used their bloodline power to resist. Fortunately, at this moment, Lin Xian slowly closed his eyes. The terrifying gaze between heaven and earth disappeared. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. After a while, Lin Xian stood up. How is it? Murong Qingqing and the others walked over and asked with concern. Lin Xian's lips curled up. His right eye had become Rinnegan. What kind of effect does it have? Yan Ruyu was curious. Lin Xian said, I'm still investigating, but I can sense that it's 10 times stronger than the heavenly secret divine eye. Lin Xian was really happy. This Rinnegan had caused his strength to change dramatically. Although Lin Xian's cultivation hadn't increased, his soul power had definitely surpassed that of a great sage. Even if he met a peak great sage outside, he would dare to fight. Let's go out and find other opportunities. The deity land was really too mysterious. Lin Xian naturally wouldn't miss it. As for the other cultivation techniques in the storage room, he would wait for a chance to cultivate them in the future. The group of people walked out. At this moment, the abyss of souls had been torn apart. There was no more below. The group left, broke through the void, and walked out. On the ground outside the abyss of souls, there were many souls and experts waiting there. Some people even rushed over from afar. They were shocked and doubtful. What happened? Among them, there were people from the Heavenly Rock race, and even some Immortal Foundation experts. For example, Chun Mu and the others on the 9-star Immortal Foundation were also here. They were also shocked and doubtful. Just now, there was an extremely terrifying soul aura here. Did some kind of treasure appear? Those soul experts said, Outsiders, you'd better not go there. There's an extremely terrifying young man there. He had ruined everything. Who is this extremely terrifying young man? These people were shocked. In the next moment, they saw the void crack open, and a few figures walked out. The person in the lead was Lin Xian. After he came out, he looked around. He stood there, suppressing everyone so much that they couldn't raise their heads. These people felt their scalps go numb. Bailey Wuk, Chun Mu, Kai Lingyi, and the others also looked over. The next moment, they exclaimed. They naturally recognized that it was Lin Xian and the others. Could it be that the heaven and earth anomaly from before was caused by this kid? When Lin Xian saw his old friends, his lips curled into a smile. These people were able to compete with him before. However, if these people were still as strong as they were before, then with his current strength they wouldn't be able to compete with him. To defeat these people, one look was enough. This is the power of the Rinnegan. Thinking of this, his eyes emitted a mysterious glow. Flawless 100 Miles, Kai Lingy, Chen Mu, and the other souls shook. Damn it, what's going on? Why were they so terrified in front of him now? It was as if the other party could see through their secrets with just a glance. What exactly happened? They were shocked. At this time, Lin Xian had already floated away. Damn it, this guy had a fortuitous encounter. Flawless 100 Miles clenched his fists. I can't stay like this any longer. I must explore. He gritted his teeth. He knew that Lin Xian must have something to do with him leaving back then. Although it was dangerous, the other party succeeded. At that time, he didn't dare to go because he was afraid. In this way, the gap between the two sides would become bigger and bigger. He was unwilling to accept this. Go. He led the people of the Canopy clan and flew into the distance. This time, he swore not to give up until his strength broke through. Chen Mu, Kai Lingy, and the others also left one after another. They also felt the pressure. Now, they understood what the so-called fortuitous encounter in the deity ground was. Perhaps two people with similar strength before, but after coming out there would be earth-shaking changes. One in the sky, one on the ground. This made them feel even more pressured. They also left one after another. News of what had happened here had also spread. It spread in all directions. Some powerhouses and tribes heard it. They were shocked. No way. The Abyss of Souls was broken? This was impossible. The master of the Abyss of Souls was at the peak of the great sage realm and had supreme means. His soul appeared and disappeared unpredictably. In addition, this was his territory. Who dared to challenge him? They didn't believe it, but when they arrived, they were all stunned. That place had long been shattered, and the soul power had long disappeared. The master of the Abyss of Souls had fallen. Who did it? Was it one of the giants in the deity ground? They knew that there were some extremely ancient and terrifying existences in the deity ground. If those people wanted to attack, the Abyss of Souls would definitely not be able to resist. No, it wasn't those ancient giants. It was a young man who was said to be an outsider. What? A person who came to gain experience? When did such a terrifying expert come to the Yuhua immortal dynasty? Could it be that a great emperor was really going to appear this time? No way. The ancient legend was going to happen in this era. A great emperor was going to reappear in the world. The glory of the ancient era was about to reappear. These people were incomparably shocked. Who was it? They didn't know now. Some people guessed that it might be the terrifying Hun Tian. They might also be Lin Wudi on the supreme leaderboard. They might even be the light-shaking realm cultivator who cultivated a forbidden martial art. The names of these people quickly spread, causing countless people to talk about it. Of course, some people had more detailed information. You mean Lin Wudi came out of the Abyss of Souls? Could it be that it was really when he moved? Damn it, it shouldn't be. Could he kill a great sage at the pinnacle? Did he use an extreme weapon? But he didn't use an extreme weapon. Once the extreme power was released, everyone in the 9 heavens and 10 earths could feel it. But they didn't detect the effect of the heaven-swallowing jar. In other words, Lin Xian killed a peak great sage with other means. This was even more unbelievable. It was possible for an early-stage great sage to kill a peak great sage unless he had a fully recovered extreme weapon. Otherwise, how did he do it? These people were shocked. For example, the Double Crown King, Hun Tian, quickly ran over after hearing the news. When she saw the shattered Abyss of Souls, her face turned cold. Damn it, if it was really caused by him, then he was getting closer and closer to winning the Double Crown. No, she had to find him quickly. She couldn't let him continue to grow. She didn't care about this person before, but if she let him develop at such a high speed, she really couldn't suppress him in the future. After she left, a man in cotton clothes walked out from under the ground. His face was calm, but the corners of his mouth were raised. He was Yao Guang. Left, humph. He looked around, entered the depths of the abyss of souls, and saw some broken wreckage. He directly swallowed the body of the Abyss Lord. Chapter 5270. Yao Guang's body exuded a mysterious aura. He used the demonic sky-devouring technique and cultivated quickly. The others were also looking for opportunities. For example, Kunpingzi was in front of a cave at this moment, bombarding the array with force. He could feel that there was a heaven-defying opportunity inside. If he could get it, he might be able to become the Double Crown King. The Phoenix clan leader looked at Feng Jiu. He said, "Are you really not going to the deity ground?" Feng Jiu shook his head. "No, Morong Qingcheng is going. I'm going to take another path." That was the path left behind by the Phoenix Emperor. The Phoenix clan leader said, "But this path is very dangerous. There's no need to work so hard." Feng Jiu said, "No, I feel the danger. The Emperor's bloodline is no longer good. Lin Wudi is too strong. And according to the intelligence, even the Double Crown King has appeared. Who knows if there will be more terrifying existences in the future? You have to know that our great Emperor family knows a lot of secrets. Many people are hiding. They want to open the seal in this life and fight for the opportunity to become a great emperor. They even want to fight for the opportunity to become an immortal. I have to take the risk." Feng Jiu walked towards an ancient hall in front of him. His figure disappeared. The powerhouses of the Phoenix clan also sighed. Everything depended on his luck. On Lin Xian's side, he continued to explore some places. With Zixing, Yun Yue, and the others, Lin Xian followed behind and controlled the overall situation. On the other side, he began to explore the other party's storage ring. In the other party's storage ring, in addition to cultivation resources, the most important thing was a scroll. That scroll was about the 5 souls' ascension. This was a soul attack. Lin Xian had seen it before. It could condense the 5 elements of soul. It was really terrifying. This was equivalent to being several times stronger than an expert of the same level. It could be said to be a sure kill. It was also because he had the great dragon sword soul that he could counterattack. Otherwise, no peak great sage could block it. Lin Xian was also tempted by such a powerful mystique. Moreover, he also discovered something else. There was another broken scroll. Some things were recorded on the scroll. It turned out that this 5-soul ascension cultivation method was found by the Abyss Lord in an immortal cave. This cave was very mysterious. In the immortal land, it was a forbidden place. Most people wouldn't dare to go there. The Abyss Lord found this clue by chance, and at the same time, he got a scroll by chance. It was the 5 souls' ascension. As for the other things, he did not know. Later on, he had tried to go there again, but he was unable to enter. This made him feel very regretful. Lin Xian also closed his eyes. The cave abode with the 5 souls' ascension was very likely left behind by a super mighty figure of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. There were definitely other treasures inside, so Lin Xian prepared to go. After talking to the others, they all nodded in agreement. They quickly attacked. On the other side, on the green cleansing immortal platform, Qing Tan also sent a message to Hun Tian. After arriving, Hun Tian said coldly, "What do you want?" Qing Tan frowned and said, "How long are you going to delay? If I don't kill Lin Wudi, won't you go somewhere else?" Hun Tian said, "Give me 2 more days to find him. I want to kill him first." Lin Wudi's strength and legend made Hun Tian nervous. However, Qing Tan said, 2 more days. After 2 days, if you don't go, we will go find other friends. Also, we are not the only ones who know about the Yuan magnetic cave abode. The other immortal platforms also know about it. If they find it in advance and get the treasures inside, it will be too late for you to regret. Hearing this, Han Tian took a deep breath. His eyes flickered and said, "Okay, let's go to the Yuan magnetic cave abode, get the treasures inside, and kill that kid." He was also very interested in the Yuan magnetic cave abode. It was said that it was left behind by a supreme being of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. After he got it, his absolute strength would increase, and he might even become a triple champion. At that time, how could Lin Wudi compete with him? Thinking of this, they quickly set off. The other immortal platforms and ancient families also had some news. For a time, these people moved and headed to the Yuan magnetic cave abode. On the other side, in the depths of the abyss of souls, the people from the ancient soul tower came back again to see if there was any hope to restore the abyss of souls. Suddenly, a figure broke out of the ground. "Who is it?" these people exclaimed. "Is it that kid?" They thought that Lin Wudi hadn't left and were so scared that their scalps went numb. But when they saw that the person who came out was a calm-looking person in plain clothes, they frowned. However, they frowned. No, if it wasn't that kid, then who was it? "Who are you? Why are you here?" They roared crazily. They couldn't beat Lin Xian, but they couldn't beat this person in front of them. The person who came out was naturally Yao Guang. The corner of his mouth curled up. "You want to become an expert? Very good. I need your strength." With a wave of his hand, the demonic sky-devouring art flew out. It charged forward. Those people frantically defended and counterattacked, but they found that they couldn't resist at all. They were soon suppressed. Damn it, how is it possible? Apart from Lin Wudi, there was a young man who was so powerful. Who is this person? Is he the double champion? They felt that there was no primal chaos energy on him. They were really scared. The corner of Yao Guang's mouth curled up. A mysterious light flickered in his eyes. These people couldn't bear it at all and fell to the ground one by one. Not long after, Han Tian retracted his palm and said coldly, "Now, gather the power of 11 soul towers and follow me." Those people trembled. The other party had already planted a soul restriction in their minds. They didn't dare to resist, so they gathered and moved. After gathering the power of 11 soul towers, the corner of Yao Guang's mouth curled up. "Follow me." "Where is Master going?" One of them asked. Yao Guang turned around and slapped the other party into a bloody mist, then swallowed him. "Impudent! Is my business something you should ask?" The others were terrified, and their scalps went numb. Although the person in front of them was wearing plain clothes and didn't have any laws on him, and his face was calm, he was a terrifying killing god. Killing saints was like cutting vegetables. They didn't dare to say anything else and followed. The group of people also disappeared in a grandiose manner. On the other side, Yi Wudao, Gu Feng, and the others also moved quickly. The twins of destiny were also searching for treasures. However, at this moment, the void split open and a figure appeared behind them. "Who is it?" These people were nervous. A figure walked out of the rift and said, "It's me." Chapter 5271. The person who came was none other than Gu Feng. The Destiny twins asked nervously, "What's the matter?" After all, the other party was also a young giant. Gu Feng said, "I know you have a grudge against Lin Wudi. Now that there's a chance, do you want to join forces?" Next, the two sides began to discuss. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were also heading towards the Yuan CI cave mansion, but on the way, they had to pass by a tribe called the Green Jade Tribe. The people of the tribe stopped them. Lin Xian said, "We don't have any ill intentions. We just want to go there, to this mountain range." "You actually want to go to the Yuan CI mountain range?" A young man was surprised. "What are you going there for?" Lin Xian said, "I heard that there are many treasures there, so I want to try my luck there. The people of the surrounding tribes laughed. Yuan Ci mountain range is indeed rumored to have many treasures, but that place is too dangerous. Ordinary experts will also fall if they go there. I advise you not to go. Lin Xian laughed after hearing this. Thank you for your reminder, but I still want to go there and see. Another middle-aged man walked over. You young people don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. If you really want to go, you can go with the people of the Green Jade tribe. Third uncle, can we? The young man around him asked. The middle-aged man nodded. Anyway, let them go and see. Remember, when you reach the Yuan Ci mountain range, just watch from afar, but don't go in, because it's really dangerous there. Okay, got it? Lin Xian nodded. The middle-aged man said, Wait a little longer. There are still some people who want to go. We'll gather together. About half a day later, a few more figures walked over. All of them were young people. Among them was a woman dressed in green with a noble expression. The middle-aged man smiled. This is the princess of our Green Jade tribe. Princess Green Jade. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and sized up the other party. The other party's aura was also extraordinary. However, she was not at the level of a young giant. He nodded slightly as a greeting. Princess Green Jade frowned slightly. Are they going too? They're so weak. Won't they implicate us? Hearing this, Zixing, Yunyu, and the others rolled their eyes. How dare you say they're weak? What kind of joke was this? However, Lin Xian waved his hand and had them retract their auras. After all, this trip to the Yuan Ci mountain range was a secret, and he didn't want to cause too much commotion. The middle-aged man said, reporting to the princess, they just want to broaden their horizons. Bringing them along and having them stay a little further away should not be a problem. Princess Qingyu snorted softly. Is that so? Even if he wanted to broaden his horizons, he would have to see if he was qualified to travel with me. Qingshan, come out. She clapped her hands, and a burly man walked out. It really was like a small mountain, and its entire body was made of jade with mysterious runes on it. This is one of my subordinates. If you can block 3 of his moves, I'll take you there. The people from the surrounding tribes were also astonished. Qingshan was not an ordinary person. He had extraordinary strength, and there were not many in the younger generation who could block 3 of his moves. Princess, aren't you making things difficult for me? The middle-aged man also sighed. It seemed like these youngsters had no chance. Lin Xian glanced at him and shook his head slightly. He wasn't interested. Then he asked, Who wants to go? I'll do it. Yunhua walked out and looked at the other party. 3 moves, right? Go ahead. Seeing how casual Yunhua and the others were, Princess Qingyu frowned. These people really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. She said coldly. Qingshan attacked. Boom. Qingshan stomped his foot, and the ground cracked as he threw out a punch. The expressions of the people from the surrounding tribes changed. He didn't hold back in this punch. They all closed their eyes. This flower-like fairy was probably going to be torn apart. Boom. In the face of such an attack, Yunhua formed a seal with her palm and slapped out. The angelic seal was incomparably vast, and it collided with the other party's fist. An earth-shattering sound was heard, and a huge figure was sent flying. Qingshan kept retreating, crushing the ground. His arm was shattered, and cracks spread to his body. In the next moment, he fell to the ground and vomited blood. Sorry, I've already held back. Seeing that the other party was injured, Yunhua said indifferently. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Then they gasped. She's already held back? And he's seriously injured? That's unbelievable. What's the identity of this woman? Her strength is too terrifying. Princess Qingyu's pupils constricted. This scene was out of her expectations. The other party actually had such a person. Her eyes flickered. Then she snorted coldly. Good, very good. It seems that I've underestimated you. You're qualified to follow me. Princess Qingyu turned around and threw a bottle of pills to Qingshan to help him recover. Then she said, Well, set off in an incense stick's time, a war chariot appeared, pulled by demonic beasts that roared into the sky. Everyone boarded the war chariot. They left the tribe and flew into the distance. Along the way, Princess Chinyu used a voice transmission to gather someone. Halfway through, a few figures appeared in the distant sky. After these people came in and exchanged greetings, it seemed that they were Princess Chinyu's friends. When those people saw Lin Xian and the others, they were surprised and nodded slightly. When they were alone, they asked, "Who are those strangers?" Princess Chinyu said that they were passers-by who wanted to go to the primordial mountain range. "What? You don't know them, and you're bringing them there?" A man frowned. "Will they be a burden? I think we should throw them down halfway." However, Princess Chinyu shook her head. "No, I plan to bring them there." The surrounding people were surprised. Princess Chinyu said, "There's a woman who injured Qin Shan with a palm strike." The surrounding young geniuses were surprised. They all knew of Qin Shan's strength. He had boundless strength and terrifying defense. How strong was she to injure him? Moreover, it was a palm strike. It was too unbelievable. Was it a powerhouse? "Aunt Yui, what do you think?" Princess Chinyu asked. A woman in a black dress walked out from the void beside him. She wore a veil over her face. Her eyes were incomparably deep. She said, "These people look unfamiliar. It's very likely that they're outsiders." Outsiders? Are they here to search for opportunities? The eyes of Qingyu and the others flickered. The others were also surprised. They naturally knew about this matter. They also heard that a few incredible experts had come. They didn't expect that they would encounter outsiders now. Interesting. Princess Chinyu nodded. Just as well. We can see if these people are as powerful as the legends say. They flew peacefully and quickly. Finally, they approached the Yuanci mountain range. At this moment, Lin Xian, who had been meditating with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. A mysterious rune appeared in his eyes as he looked into the distance. Someone was attacking. Chapter 5272. Someone was coming, and it was an expert. Moreover, it was coming for them. Lin Xian secretly gathered his strength. At the same time, he sent a voice transmission to Morom Qingcheng and the others, telling them to be careful. At this moment, the mysterious woman in a black dress in front of them also frowned. She waved her hand and quickly stopped the war chariot. In the next moment, the people in the war chariot felt a terrifying aura. It was like an abyss that swept towards them. Not good. There was an expert. Their expressions changed drastically. It was an extremely terrifying expert. Yui even left the war chariot and bowed respectfully towards the void. The Star Jade tribe had seen the skeleton saint before. In front of them, a figure walked over from the void. It was a skeleton that was purple in color. It had a huge sword on its back and a powerful aura of death on its body. Purple flames danced in its eyes. Every beat of his heart was frightening. The people in the war chariot were shocked when they heard it. Princess Chinyu and the others gasped. They had heard of the skeleton saint before. It was extremely terrifying and wasn't someone they could fight against. The purple skeleton said coldly, "So it's the Green Jade tribe. We have some friendship with you. Go on." With that, he stomped his foot toward the void and disappeared. He left. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Yi also came back and said, "Fortunately, we're safe. Let's go." Their war chariot quickly left this place. Princess Chinyu and the others were puzzled. Was that really the legendary skeleton sword saint? Indeed, our Green Jade tribe had helped them search for a kind of natural treasure before. It could be said that we have some friendship with them. That's why they let us go. Otherwise, we would have died without a burial ground. Princess Chinyu and the others were shocked. They didn't doubt this at all, because there were too many legends about the skeleton sword saint. However, another young man was puzzled. According to the legends, the skeleton sword saint didn't move in this area. How did we meet him today? Could it be that we're so unlucky? I don't think it's a matter of luck. Yi looked into the distance. He should be coming for the Yuan Ci mountain range. He came from the Yuan Ci mountain range. Princess Qingyu and the others were shocked. Could it be that a shocking treasure was about to appear? They came out in order to search for natural treasures in the Yuan Ci mountain range. Yi shook her head. Legend had it that within this mountain range, there was an ancient cave that had been left behind by an ancient supreme being. It was abnormally mysterious. Perhaps these people were here for this legendary super almighty immortals cave. Everyone was shocked. On the other side, Lin Xian also frowned. It seemed that the situation was out of his expectations. The reason for that was because he sensed a few more auras passing by. All right, we're almost there. Let's come out, Yi said. After opening the chariot, the group of people got off. There was a mountain range in front of him. It was incomparably mysterious and surrounded by light. Everyone felt an immense pressure. Was this the primitive mountain range? The primitive power shocked them. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Princess Qingyu cried out in alarm. Heavens! Who was that person in front of them? Could it be the legendary sage? They realized that there were a few figures that were very similar to the legendary powerful saints. Are all these people here? They weren't any weaker than the skeleton sage. With so many people here, it seemed that something big was going to happen in the Yuan Ci mountain range. Some of the geniuses were already regretting coming here at this time. If they were unlucky, they might be instantly killed. Therefore, they said, it seems that we came at the wrong time. Why don't we come another day? Many people nodded. Princess Qingyu's eyes flickered. Aren't you curious? What was the matter that brought so many legendary experts here? Don't you want to know? Moreover, Yi was here. If we can't beat them, we can still leave. All right. These people nodded and walked forward. At this moment, Princess Qingyu raised her chin and said, Don't go over. Otherwise, I won't be able to protect you and turn you into ashes. Lin Xian smiled and said, Don't worry, we don't need to be protected. After speaking, they also walked forward. Princess Qingyu stomped her feet in anger and snorted, You're really arrogant. She didn't care. When his life is in danger, let's see how he begs me. She angrily led her people and wanted to go up. The group walked towards the primitive mountain range. After entering the mountain, Lin Xian's expression was solemn. Murong Qingcheng, who was beside him, said, It seems that we're not the only ones who know about this. So many experts have come. Could it be that something unexpected happened? He didn't know. However, these people were originally local experts. Perhaps they had heard of this legend long ago. Let's play it by ear. Finally, the group walked up to a mountain peak and stood there looking into the distance. The mountain range was continuous, and there were figures on the surrounding peaks. It was obvious that everyone wanted to occupy a peak. Princess Qingyu and the others also came to the peak. Looking at the rainbow-like clouds below, they exclaimed. It was so beautiful. Their eyes were sparkling. Yui's expression was incomparably solemn. Princess, just look at the scenery. This time, we have to leave quickly. As for looking for heavenly treasures, we'll come back in the future. Her heart was heavy. She had a feeling that a storm was about to happen, and they might be swept into it if they stayed here. At this moment, the bell on her body shook. Princess Qingyu's face lit up. Don't worry, Yi. An expert has come to protect me. I'm here, Princess Qingyu said to the bell. The bell emitted a light that spread in all directions. At the same time, two figures appeared in the distance. The one in front was a young man with a handsome face and an extraordinary aura. Behind him was an old man. His face was red, and he had ascended to immortality. The two of them were very fast and arrived at the peak in an instant. It was Sage Startling Cloud. Yi bowed when she saw the old man. You're too polite. The old man smiled. The young man also bowed. Hello, Yi. Yi nodded. Princess Qingyu said, Grandpa Startling Cloud, I want to stay here for a while. Is that okay? The old man frowned slightly. Qingyu, the current situation might be more troublesome than you think. Something big is about to happen here. I think you should leave early. Qingyu was unhappy. The young man beside her said, Grandpa, what are you afraid of? Besides, we're just looking. Don't worry. As long as there's danger, we'll leave immediately. Sage Startling Cloud nodded. However, you can't act rashly. You have to listen to me. That's great. Princess Qingyu and the others were happy. Then he glanced at Lin Xian and the others with arrogance in his eyes. Humph, let's see what you can do. Chapter 5273. In Princess Qingyu's opinion, Lin Xian and his group would definitely be at a loss. When the time came, wouldn't they come and beg her obediently? However, the situation surprised her because Lin Xian and his group were expressionless. They didn't seem to have any intention of responding. This made her face turn ugly. Damn it, these people are too arrogant. How dare they not beg her? She wanted to see what these people would do next. Lin Xian didn't pay attention to Princess Qingyu at all. At this moment, he looked around. He found that there were many powerful figures around him. There were even some people from the outside world. These people must have gathered for the same purpose. At this moment, on a mountain peak, a skeleton figure stood out and said coldly, I didn't expect you to be so fast. You're all here. As he spoke, he carried a terrifying death aura, which shocked many people. This was the skeleton saint. Do you think we don't know? Don't think you can take the treasure for yourself. Another person shouted coldly. This person was tall and had the head of an elephant. His body was enormous. He was many times more terrifying than Green Mountain. He was called the Giant Elephant Saint. His power was enough to destroy everything. It seems that we're all here for the cave abode. However, this cave abode is very mysterious and has always been elusive. Now that everyone is here, it's really a surprise. As soon as this was said, the others also discussed. It was indeed too coincidental. Now that the deity ground had opened and people from the outside world had come in, it was time for the opportunity to start. We naturally have to look for the opportunity. The experts in front were discussing, but the people around them didn't dare to speak at all. At this moment, someone flew towards the mountain peak in the distance. Who was it? Many people were shocked. Cold light burst out from their eyes. If one wanted to come to the mountain peak in front, unless they were as strong as them, they would be courting death. It was him, the Startling Cloud Saint. Many people narrowed their eyes and soon frowned. They found that the Startling Cloud Saint didn't come alone. Instead, he came with a group of young people. There were quite a few of them. Immediately, someone sneered. These young people were really reckless. What were they here for? Were they in a hurry to die? Princess Qingyu and the others were also very nervous. Their scalps were numb. Following behind the Startling Cloud Saint, they didn't even dare to say a word. Even Yi, who was beside them, was shocked. If there were only one or two experts, it would be understandable. However, there were simply too many experts here. There were so many that it was hard to believe. If a fight really broke out, no one would be able to protect them. Don't worry, my grandfather will definitely protect your safety. His eyes were filled with pride. Lin Xian and the others followed behind. When they arrived, Lin Xian looked ahead. He seemed to feel an even more mysterious aura. It seemed like the Origin Magnetic Cave was here. There should be extremely terrifying formations and restrictions in the surroundings. Otherwise, these experts wouldn't have dared to remain stagnant and would have fought for it long ago. Since the Immortal's Cave was right in front of him, Lin Xian would not sit idly by. He walked forward. Lin Xian's figure fell to the corner below. This scene attracted the attention of many people. Finally, someone made the first move. Which old monster was it? The people of the Green Jade tribe were all stunned. Oh, heavens! Princess, who was this brat? They realized that the one descending was actually the young man who came with them. Did this guy want to die? Princess Green Jade's expression also changed. Hey, brat, hurry up and come back. I can't protect you. However, Suchin didn't care at all and continued to descend. The young man beside her, startling Wind, saw this scene and sneered. The other party was simply courting death. One had to know that the top experts around didn't dare to act rashly. For a young man to go down at this time, wasn't he courting death? The startling Cloud Saint also saw this. He said coldly, Green Jade, I'm only responsible for protecting you. If you're obedient, everything will be fine. However, this brat is so reckless. Forgive me for being powerless. Green Jade was already stunned. The people around were also shocked. Many people looked over. When they realized that it was a young man, they were all furious. This guy was courting death. At this moment, someone attacked. He slapped out a palm that could split heaven and earth and attacked the other party. As Lin Xian descended, his eyes emitted a mysterious aura at the same time. He began to investigate and found that there was indeed an array in the surroundings. Moreover, it was an extremely terrifying array. It wasn't easy to break it. However, now that his ocular technique had improved, it was only a matter of time before he could break it. Therefore, he calmed down a lot. At this moment, the people around him were stunned. Princess Green Jade's expression changed drastically when she saw this scene. Not good. Come back quickly. She looked at the startling Cloud Saint. The startling Cloud Saint said, This person seems to be using a technique from the outside world. He's also a powerful saint. These two young men can't resist at all. He's definitely going to die. I can't do anything about it. Unless it was a last resort, he didn't want to become enemies with a saint. Therefore, he shook his head. Princess, don't bother with him. This guy is asking for it. That's right. Who asked him to wait? The people around him were discussing. However, Murong Qingcheng and the others were very calm. They didn't seem to be nervous at all. The one who attacked was indeed an expert from the Heaven sect. His name was Tian Shui. He grabbed at Lin Xian with his palm. Feeling this terrifying aura, Lin Xian raised his head and snorted. Are you sure you want to attack me? Tian Shui snorted after hearing that. How dare he threaten him? He was disdainful. However, when he looked down and saw the other party's face, he was stunned. He waved his palm and struck to the side. At the same time, he exclaimed, It's you. There was a trace of fear in his voice. It was as if he had encountered something unbelievable. The people around him were stunned. What was going on? The other party was still alive. The celestial sect expert had actually stopped. Could it be that he knew the other party? For a moment, everyone was puzzled. The people from the Green Jade tribe were also dumbfounded. Could it be that this kid had some background? Even the startling Cloud Saint was stunned. In the next moment, her pupils shrank because she saw the most unbelievable scene. The man from the Heaven sect, a saint expert, looked at Lin Xian and took a deep breath. In the next moment, he cupped his fists and said, I don't know if you're Lin Gongzi. I've offended you before. I hope you won't take offense. The people around him went crazy. Lin Gongzi! Even a saint had to bow respectfully. Who was this person? The others were also discussing animatedly. Saint Mammoth sneered. He heard that the people from the outside world were very powerful. Now, it seemed that they were just SOSO. They were so afraid of a young man. It was really disappointing. The native people also sneered. However, Tian Shui snorted. What do you know? This Lin Gongzi is Lin Wudi. Chapter 5274. Lin Wudi. Hearing this, the saints were startled and then took in a breath of cold air. They thought of a person. Could it be him? They were shocked. Was it this young man in front of them? It was unbelievable. Now, they finally knew why the experts of the heavens were so respectful. If it was really that person, even they couldn't provoke him easily. At this moment, the Colossus Saint, Skeleton Saint, and the others all cupped their fists. It was Lin Gongzi. Greetings. Even the startling Cloud Saint didn't dare to be careless. He walked out and cupped his fists. Greetings, Lin Gongzi. His grandson was stunned, and so were the people of the Green Jade tribe. Even the startling Cloud Saint had to greet him. This person's background was too terrifying. Princess Green Jade was even more confused. Yi, was Lin Wuyi very famous? Yes. Was he very powerful? Yi also exclaimed. So it was him. If it was that person, then he was more than powerful. Did you know that the Abyss of Souls was destroyed some time ago? The 11 masters of the Mixed Towers, including the princess and the master of the Abyss of Souls, were all killed. Princess Green Jade and the others nodded. Who didn't know about such a big matter? Yi said that it was Lin Wuyi who did it. What? At this moment, Princess Green Jade and the others were completely stunned. The 11 masters of the Soul Towers were all saints. The master of the Abyss of Souls was even a peak great sage. Such people died in the hands of the other party. It was too heaven-defying. Now they finally knew why the saints were acting like they were facing a great enemy. This person was too powerful. Startling Wind was also shocked. Previously, he looked down on the other party and thought that he was courting death. Now, it seemed that he was a frog at the bottom of the well. Princess Green Jade's face was also pale. Previously, she thought that Lin Xian was very pretentious. No matter what he did, he looked calm. It turned out that the other party wasn't pretending. He really had the strength. Now, she also understood why Murong Qingcheng and the others weren't nervous at all. In front, Lin Xian looked at the Sky Sect expert and frowned. You want to attack me? Tian Shui's face was pale. He laughed bitterly. How would I dare? But you've already made your move. Lin Xian said faintly. Tian Shui's expression turned extremely ugly. In the next moment, he gritted his teeth and broke his right hand. Then he said, Sir, are you satisfied? Lin Xian clasped his hands behind his back and nodded slightly. I'll let you off this time. I'll give you a warning. The next time you make a move on me, it won't be as simple as breaking an arm. The surrounding people were spitting out saliva. Just a few simple sentences were enough to make a powerful saint lower his head. He even cut off his own arm. This aura was simply astonishing. Lin Xian looked at the surrounding saints and said, I am going to investigate the array formation. Do you dare to obstruct me? The surrounding saints all shook their heads and didn't dare. We are willing to help young master investigate. These people were very respectful. By the way, why did you come on the same day? Could it be that you have more detailed information? Lin Xian asked with a frown. He only obtained a map from the Abyss Lord. There wasn't any specific information, but it was circulating recently that the Origin Magnetic Immortal Cave would open in the next 3 days. After Lin Xian heard this, he frowned tightly. He felt that something was wrong. In the next moment, the power of reincarnation appeared in his right eye as he looked around. At the same time, he snorted coldly and scrammed out. To be able to discover my existence, you have some ability. There was a loud laugh between heaven and earth. Immediately after, a figure walked out from a mountain. This person had a primal chaos aura, as if it was splitting heaven and earth. The moment it appeared, it suppressed everything. The surrounding experts felt their scalps go numb. Even the saints were terrified. What a terrifying primal chaos aura. This was a young man, and he was too powerful. Princess Qingyu and the others were stunned. Were there so many powerful experts among the young people? However, the startling Cloud Saint said that among the people from the outside world, other than Lin Gongzi, there were a few other terrifying existences. One of them was the dual-crowned king of the primal chaos race, Han Tian. Perhaps that was him. The dual-crowned king's name was very terrifying. He was an existence above the emperor's son. Lin Xian looked at the other party and narrowed his eyes. Oh, Han Tian, you're here. Is it your main body this time? If it's your clone, I advise you to scram. Kid, don't be arrogant. Han Tian snorted coldly. Although you defeated me last time, you only defeated my clone. I admit that you have some talent to be able to enter the young sovereign list. You did surprise me, but that was before my main body came. Now that I'm here, even if you're a dragon, you have to lie down. Han Tian snorted coldly. He was incomparably majestic, like a god, who didn't put anything in his eyes. Is that so? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. I'm looking forward to fighting with you. An extremely terrifying light of reincarnation appeared in his eyes. Now that his right eye had become the Rinnegan, his strength had greatly increased. He naturally wanted to fight at the peak. At this moment, another sneer sounded. It seems that someone arrived earlier than me. However, I hope that you can die in my hands. This voice was erratic and spread in all directions. Everyone was shocked. They couldn't detect the other party's traces at all. What a terrifying spatial ability. This should be a young powerhouse. The void in front of them shattered, and a space floated everywhere. There were many figures standing on it. The aura of good and evil gathered on these people. It was incomparably terrifying. In front of them was a mysterious young man who seemed to have merged with the void. How terrifying. This is an expert from the Arch clan, Gu Feng. Han Tian also narrowed his eyes. On the other mountain peak, Yun Yu's pupils also shrank. The people of the Destiny Gemini clan didn't expect that these people would dare to come. Lin Xian also looked at the sky and sneered. The Destiny Gemini clan is too reckless. And you, Gu Feng, you're not my opponent at all. Who gave you the courage to challenge me? Kid, keep being stubborn. Now that I've also obtained an opportunity, my strength can't be compared to before. Soon, I'll let you have a taste of it. Lin Xian's expression was cold. Suddenly, his pupils shrank. With a wave of his hand, he shattered a mountain peak in the distance. There, a figure appeared. He was wearing cloth clothes. His face was calm, but his eyes were incomparably mysterious. It's him, Yao Guang. At this moment, Morong Qingcheng and the others frowned. This person was very dangerous. They didn't expect him to come at this moment and hide. Lin Xian looked at the other party and sneered. You're not a good man either. Yao Guang shook his head. No, I originally wanted to kill you alone, but now it seems that there's no need. When you die, your corpse will be mine. Hearing this voice, the surrounding experts were stunned. The other party dared to threaten to kill Lin Wudi. He was probably an extremely terrifying genius. Chapter 5275. Being targeted by these three people, Lin Xian's fate was likely to be sealed. Everyone was in an uproar. They felt that Lin Xian was dead for sure. Lin Xian snorted. All right, since you want to attack together, then bring it on. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with extremely cold light. The surrounding people were shocked. He was too arrogant. Yao Guang sneered from afar, but Gu Feng frowned and looked at Han Tian. To be honest, he hoped to join forces and kill Han Tian. However, Han Tian snorted. Join forces? What a joke. I alone am enough to deal with you. As he spoke, he walked over. Gu Feng sneered and retreated with his men. Let's wait and see. It would be best if Han Tian could succeed alone. If not, they could join forces. Hence, he wasn't in a hurry. Just by yourself? Lin Xian shook his head. I advise you to join forces, because you aren't a match for me. Han Tian was furious. Who do you think you are? You dare to question me? I am the Double Crown champion. Today, I will kill you on the spot. He snorted and walked over. The primal chaos aura burst out from his body. It caused the entire world to shake. Right now, he was like a god descending from the heavens. With a punch, he pierced through the sky and arrived in front of Lin Xian. He wanted to blast Hun Tian into pieces. This punch was too terrifying. It was one with heaven and earth, and had the power to split heaven and earth. Furthermore, the speed was extremely fast. Retreat quickly. The surrounding people saw this scene and retreated frantically. This was a battle between young paragons. They couldn't withstand it, and all retreated far away. Princess Qingyu and the others also asked Hun Tian if that fella could succeed. He was still worried for Lin Xian. Yui sighed. She wasn't sure. Both of them were top-notch individuals. It was hard to guess who would win. However, there were still two individuals eyeing covetously. If they joined forces, Lin Wuti would definitely not be a match. There were also some saints that snorted. For example, the Colossus Saint, Skeleton Saint, and the others. Previously, Lin Xian alone was enough to suppress them. Now, they naturally hoped that Lin Xian would be unlucky. The fist in front of him became the only thing in the world. Lin Xian coldly snorted and similarly sent out a punch. The Nine Suns' divine fist exploded like a sun as the two collided. An earth-shattering sound rang out, shaking heaven and earth. It was blocked. Many people were shocked. However, Hun Tian let out a furious roar as the barrier shattered. He wanted to shatter Lin Xian's palm. At this moment, the aura of primal chaos burst forth from his body continuously. The illusion of two crowns appeared above his head. At this moment, all the power of heaven and earth was mobilized by him. It was as if he had truly transformed into a god who had created the world. I'm the true double champion. You're just a single champion. How can you compare to me? He kept swinging his fists, trying to smash Lin Xian to pieces. The surrounding people were alarmed. This power was too terrifying. Was this the primal chaos body? It was extremely powerful. Those saints felt their scalps going numb. If it was them, they wouldn't even be able to withstand a single fist. However, what shocked them was that Lin Wuti had actually blocked it. His physique was also shockingly strong. Lin Xian's face was solemn. He had to admit that Hun Tian was really strong, far stronger than the Crown Prince. If Hun Tian's original body had participated in the test, he would definitely have been ranked on the Young Supremes list. However, he was not afraid. His current strength was not the same as before. After possessing the Rinnegan, his strength had undergone earth-shattering changes. Don't resist anymore, because you're no match for me. Hun Tian's voice was filled with strong confidence. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into a ruler. The double champion and the primal chaos body were just SOSO. Lin Xian's figure flickered as he quickly retreated. He did not fight in close combat. Instead, a mysterious rune burst out from his right eye. Retreat? Did he want to admit defeat? However, the outcome of losing was death. Hun Tian sneered. The surrounding people also exclaimed. Could Lin Wuti not withstand it? It was no wonder that this was the case. Who could withstand such a punch? The primal chaos divine seal. Hun Tian formed a seal with his palm and slapped forward. This was a unique power that had become even more terrifying. If this palm were to land, several worlds would be destroyed. It's over. Lin Wuti is dead. Everyone shook their heads, and some sighed. Although Lin Wuti was strong, he was still a little weaker than Hun Tian. If Hun Tian was given another 100 years, he might have a chance to compete. However, it was still impossible now. It was over. Shock Cloud Saint and the others shook their heads. Yi also sighed, while Princess Qingyu and the others exclaimed. Was he going to die? No. He felt as if he was dreaming. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian did not dodge, nor did he use his divine body. It was as if he had given up. However, a terrifying reincarnation power erupted from his eyes. The Rinnegan opened. Buzz. A terrifying light flew out, turning into an eternity between heaven and earth as it charged forward. At this moment, the world turned dark. Everyone was stunned. Their souls seemed to be about to be extinguished. What was this? It was too terrifying. Before they could react, a blood-curdling scream rang out in front of them. Then, sacred blood dripped down, tearing the world apart. Everyone was dumbfounded. They saw the most unbelievable scene. How was this possible? Even Gu Feng roared in horror. Yao Guang's pupils constricted in disbelief. They realized that the powerful Hun Tian was injured. His shoulder was penetrated. Even the white bones had been shattered. What was that light just now? An extreme weapon? Countless people exclaimed. However, Gu Feng and the others knew that it was not. There was no extreme aura, but it made them feel terrified. Was it a gaze? Murong Qingcheng lifted the corner of her mouth, revealing a smile. What? A gaze. The surrounding people were all stunned. What kind of joke was this? That was the double-crown champion, a young paragon. A gaze could injure him. Did he think that it was the gaze of a great emperor? They did not believe it at all. Ah! Hun Tian screamed in pain. He kept retreating. At this moment, his right shoulder was completely shattered. His arm hung down. Damn it, he was injured. How was this possible? Moreover, he knew very well that he had indeed been injured by a gaze. This made him even more incredulous. His soul was so powerful. He was absolutely confident that he could suppress the 9-yang divine body. However, such a physique was pierced by a gaze. What kind of gaze was that? He could not imagine. For a moment, the world fell silent. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. They had never imagined such a scene. Who would have thought that the powerful double-crowned champion Hun Tian would be injured by a gaze? Lin Wudi, who was bound to die, actually had such a terrifying trump card. Some people clenched their fists in excitement. He was too powerful. As expected of a paragon, he had a bright future. Yes, I thought he was finished. Who would have thought that he would be so terrifying? Chapter 5276. Damn it, Hun Tian was actually injured. Gu Feng gritted his teeth. Yao Guang also furrowed his brows. There was something wrong with that guy's eyes. The other saints were scared silly and started to tremble in fear again. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. His right eye was like a magic lamp. He smiled. The chaos physique is just SO. I said that you are not my match. Damn it, I was careless. You actually have such a terrifying eye. Humph. So what? Now that I am going all out, you are not my match at all. He shouted angrily and charged over again. His broken shoulder recovered, and the chaotic aura on his body became abnormally mysterious. A chaos halberd appeared in his hand. With a slash, it split heaven and earth in half. He roared and charged over forcefully. You still dare to attack? Fine. I will let you see the power of the Rinnegan. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with an extremely terrifying light, enveloping the front. A ball of flame flew out. Hun Tian immediately felt a sense of fear. It was as if his soul was about to burn. He shouted angrily, and the chaos halberd slashed down on the flame. At the same time, he formed a seal with his other hand, drawing a terrifying sea that swept out. He had endless secret techniques just to suppress one eye. This was simply unimaginable in the past. However, he realized that this eye was really too terrifying. Not only him, but Gu Feng and Yao Guang also realized that this was the power of reincarnation. Could it be the Rinnegan? How could he condense such a thing? Yao Guang's eyes were also red. If I swallow it, I can also obtain the power of reincarnation. Lin Xian used the Rinnegan to frighten Hun Tian. Hun Tian's soul was terrifying, and his chaotic power was even more so. However, in this pair of eyes, his soul was also greatly suppressed. It could be destroyed at any time. He was enraged. This method could only protect himself. In this way, his defeat was just a matter of time. Whoosh! Suddenly, the void behind Lin Xian cracked open, and a palm grabbed at him like a dragon's claw. It wanted to tear his heart apart. This was a sure kill attack, and it appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Before the surrounding people could react, the attack was already behind Lin Xian. Lin Xian let out a cold snort. Gu Feng, you are still so despicable. With a backhand slash, he slashed out with his sword. With a clang, the claw was sent flying. Without even turning his head, he shot out tens of thousands of bursts of sword qi, which transformed into giant dragons to pursue and kill. Gu Feng appeared and disappeared mysteriously. He merged into the void and dodged. Then his face turned cold. How dare you interfere in my battle? Hun Tian also stopped, gritted his teeth, and said. Gu Feng stood with his hands behind his back. He said, This brat is too strange. Could it be that you can't tell? His eyes were most likely the legendary Rinnegan. If you were to fight him alone, it would be impossible to kill him. If you let him continue to grow, his other eye would also evolve. At that time, with his body's eye technique and his trump card, who would be able to suppress him? He had to be killed now. Hun Tian fell silent. To be honest, given his pride, he wouldn't join hands with others. However, Lin Xian was an exception. The other party was too mysterious, so he could only agree to join hands. Interesting, I'll join too. Yao Guang also walked out. All of a sudden, the three top giants wanted to challenge Lin Xian, the young supreme. Everyone retreated further away. They were incomparably shocked. Yan Ruyu and the others asked, Are they going to fight? To be honest, their side wasn't lacking in numbers. Shi and Murong Qingcheng could definitely fight against Gu Feng and Yao Guang. Murong Qingcheng said, There's no need for now. I think Brother Xian is still testing the power of the Rinnegan. After all, this was the legendary eye. It was even more mysterious than the 9-yang divine body. Therefore, its power should be boundless. Were they finally going to join hands? Well, I'm going to use my full strength too. Lin Xian was also happy about the power of the Rinnegan. Therefore, he was going to use his full strength now. In front, Hun Tian and the other two looked extremely serious. In the next moment, Gu Feng took the initiative to attack. Void Finger. With a finger, he appeared and disappeared mysteriously, attacking Lin Xian's right eye. The other party's attack was very clear. He wanted to destroy this eye. Hun Tian attacked again. The Hun Tian War Spear attacked Lin Xian, wanting to split him in half. Yao Guang also formed hand seals with his palms, drawing countless ghost claws. He attacked mysteriously under the great force. The three of them were very powerful. At this moment, they were all killing moves. These were at least great emperor-level divine abilities. Looking at the great sages in the distance, his scalp went numb. These young people had far surpassed him. Lin Xian snorted coldly. His right eye, the Rinnegan, erupted with a terrifying light. Boom! At this moment, the void around Lin Xian instantly shattered. A wave of power swept in all directions. It was as if a world had descended, setting off a monstrous storm. The attacks of the three were also instantly sent flying. The three of them felt their blood boil. What was this? Before they could react, Lin Xian had already charged over. He took the lead to attack Gu Feng. Although Gu Feng appeared and disappeared mysteriously, the Rinnegan could lock onto him. Then, the fire of reincarnation attacked Gu Feng. Feeling that his soul was severely injured, he roared. Using the void, Gu Feng narrowly dodged, but his expression became incomparably ugly. The gap was actually so big. Lin Xian snorted coldly. What a piece of trash. He turned around and attacked the other two. Gu Feng was about to vomit blood. He was also a top-notch genius. He also cultivated the great emperor's ancient scripture and used Mo Gui's spatial divine ability. However, he was called a piece of trash by the other party. He couldn't stand it. At this moment, the angry roar sounded in front of him again. Lin Xian attacked Yao Guang again. The reincarnation mountain pressed down. The reincarnation power above seemed to want to suppress Yao Guang under the 18 layers of hell. Yao Guang unleashed a divine king phantom to block this attack. At the same time, he merged into the void and disappeared. Only then did he dodge. However, Lin Xian didn't let him go. He slashed out again. This sword could cut through the void and directly attacked Yao Guang. Yao Guang's pupils shrank. He used the substitution technique to barely dodge. In the next moment, a tear appeared on his sleeve. Then, a corpse fell out of his sleeve. This was an expert from the Chaos Tower. Yao Guang had used him as a puppet to block a fatal attack. Lin Xian looked at him and said coldly, "You haven't mastered the demonic, heaven-devouring art yet. I'll get rid of you today so that you won't harm others." Damn it! Yao Guang's expression was also cold. However, at this moment, Han Tian attacked again. He was really too powerful. Among the three, Yao Guang was the strangest, but he was still the strongest. After all, he was the true Double Crown champion. At this moment, he erupted with extremely powerful bloodline power and attacked crazily. For a moment, he actually blocked the Rinnegan. Boom! Lin Xian's kick sent him flying, causing him to vomit blood. Lin Xian sneered, "You seem to have forgotten that I don't only have the Rinnegan." Chapter 5277. Han Tian was sent flying, crashing into the mountain range and coughing up blood. Damn it! It roared crazily. The surrounding people's expressions changed drastically. No way, he was too strong. The three giants couldn't suppress him even after joining forces. Lin Xian. Instead, he was injured by Lin Xian. This Lin Wuyi was too strong. He was really a young emperor. Who could defeat him? Han Tian and the other two's expressions were also extremely ugly. Lin Xian took out the Hell Sword. "It's my turn to attack." The Rinnegan shot out, and the three's souls shook. Lin Xian took a step forward and arrived in front of Gu Feng. Gu Feng said fiercely, "So fast, so close, yet so far." He formed a folded space and retreated at the same time. He also used Void Blade, Void Crack, and Void Exile. All kinds of techniques were aimed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian broke all techniques with a single sword, and the dragon-shaped sword Qi destroyed everything. He sent Gu Feng flying. One of Gu Feng's arms was cut off. He screamed crazily, "Why aren't you attacking?" He kept roaring. Yao Guang and Han Tian charged over. They knew that they had to join forces at this moment. Yao Guang roared, and a giant made of black light appeared on his body. It was like a black demon god. This was the Yi clan's peerless theurgy. When he used it, he was like a death god from hell. The death scythe in his hand slashed down mercilessly. Lin Xian used the Hell Sword to resist. At this moment, Yao Guang formed a seal with her right hand and unleashed a sky rock that pierced through the sky. It was vivid and lifelike, and it carried a destructive aura. This power was very terrifying. As soon as it got close to Lin Xian, it exploded. The destructive power enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian dodged with the demon god wing's extreme speed and arrived beside Yao Guang. "You even devoured the Tianping race, but your cultivation is still not up to par." He kicked Yao Guang away with a coiling dragon leg. All the bones in Yao Guang's body were shattered, and he kept vomiting blood. At this moment, Han Tian arrived. He held the Chaos Halberd with both hands and slashed it down at Lin Xian. Lin Xian's figure was confused as he took the blow head-on. His shoulder split open, and golden saint blood flowed out. Great, he was hurt. Yao Guang was overjoyed. Lin Xian turned around, grabbed the primal chaos spear, and activated his Rinnegan again. "Ah!" Han Tian screamed crazily as he held his head and retreated with a pale face. In that instant, his soul felt like it was about to split apart. He had really walked on the edge of life and death. Damn it. Even though he had injured the other party, his injuries were even worse. Next, Lin Xian attacked again, severely injuring the three of them. Although the three of them are powerful, the Rinnegan is too strange. In addition, Lin Xian had no weaknesses. Whether it was his physique, swordsmanship, or laws, they were all extremely powerful. The three of them couldn't do anything at all. For a moment, their faces were ugly. Han Tian went crazy. Yao Guang also gritted his teeth, and an extreme aura appeared on his body. Lin Xian snorted coldly. What? Do you want to risk your life? The power of the heaven-devouring jar also rose and fell. In the distance, Yan Ruyu and Morong Qingsheng also walked out. Yao Guang turned around and fled. He tore open the void and disappeared. He ran away. Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect that a young powerhouse would be scared away. Lin Wuyi, just you wait. Yao Guang also gritted his teeth. He had really miscalculated this time. He also turned around and left. Lin Xian frowned and wanted to chase after him. He didn't want to let go of this peerless enemy. However, at this moment, a good and evil statue appeared in the sky, and countless roars came from it. Die. This was the Gemini of Destiny's attack. Previously, Gu Feng had brought the Twins of Destiny, but they didn't participate in the battle. These people weren't qualified to participate in such a battle between powerhouses. However, there were many of them. They joined forces and condensed their power to form a statue. At the critical moment, a sure-kill attack came out at this moment. Lin Xian looked up at the sky and shouted coldly, "Heavenly path of reincarnation." A large hand appeared in the sky and mercilessly fell, shattering the statue. Not only that, under the palm, the dozen or so powerhouses of the Twins of Destiny were also turned into ashes. It was too terrifying. Everyone's scalp went numb. Even Han Tian's pupils shrank. His opponent still had such a trump card. He could feel a deadly threat coming from it. He also turned around and fled. Lin Xian's right eye narrowed slightly. What he used just now was an ultimate technique of the Rinnegan, which consumed a lot of his soul power. It seemed that he couldn't use too much of it. However, he quickly snorted and chased after Han Tian. Yao Guang had already fled, so Lin Xian could only chase after Han Tian. The demon god wings on his back were activated to the extreme, and the hell sword slashed down. Yao Guang turned around to block, and the two of them exploded with earth-shaking sounds. Yao Guang shouted angrily, "Damn it, get lost!" He kept changing directions, but he found that Lin Xian was still chasing after him. "Damn it, why don't you let me go?" Lin Xian sneered. "Because you're too slow." Lin Xian used the heavenly path of reincarnation again. Suddenly, the giant hand of the heavens fell and sent Han Tian flying. Han Tian's body was torn apart. His chaotic physique was actually shattered at this moment. One had to know that this was an incomparably mysterious physique in the starry sky. It was ranked even higher than the 9-yang divine physique. However, it was actually shattered at this moment. It was too unbelievable. Han Tian screamed crazily. He felt that this move seemed to be able to destroy his soul. "No," he roared. Suddenly, an illusion appeared in his shattered bloodline. It was a giant axe that could split everything. It directly sent the large hand of the heavens flying. Using this opportunity, Han Tian quickly fled and disappeared. Lin Xian didn't chase after him anymore. He had used the heavenly path of reincarnation twice, and his soul power had been consumed a lot. He couldn't use it anymore. Furthermore, the giant axe just now had caused his hair to stand on end. Look at it. It seemed that Han Tian also had some super trump cards. It wasn't easy to kill the other party, but defeating the other party wasn't a problem at all. Today, the three young giants joined forces and still weren't his opponent. In the future, when his strength increased, He could kill the three of them by himself. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's mouth raised. Very good. The power of the Rinnegan was beyond his imagination. Indeed, with Lin Xian's previous strength, he probably couldn't compete with Hun Tian. After all, the chaotic physique was stronger than the 9-yang divine physique. Moreover, the other party's cultivation and law also suppressed him. Not to mention, there was also Yao Guang and Gu Feng joining forces. However, with the Rinnegan, it was different. His soul power could suppress the souls of the three people. He could even injure the three of them. Under such circumstances, the three of them weren't his opponent at all. The power of reincarnation in his right eye slowly disappeared. Lin Xian turned around and said coldly, "Is there anyone else who wants to challenge me?" The surroundings were silent. Everyone was stunned. At this moment, they lowered their heads deeply. Powerful, absolutely powerful. They couldn't challenge him. Lin Xian's aura continued to rise. Then it condensed on top of his head, forming 2 crowns. Double Crown Champion. Chapter 5278. Lin Xian's strength had increased greatly, surpassing the previous Crown King. In addition, this time, he defeated Hun Tian, so he naturally became the Double Crown King. Everyone looked at this scene in shock and kept worshipping. Not only was the other party a young supreme being, but he had also become the Double Crown King. In this way, who could be his opponent? Naturally, the news of what happened here spread out quickly. When the people outside heard it, they were all shocked. What? The Double Crown King was defeated? The 3 young powerhouses joined forces to kill Lin Wuti, but they returned without success. Instead, they were severely injured. Lin Wuti had become the Double Crown King. One shocking piece of news after another came to him. Everyone was dumbfounded. This Lin Wuti was too heaven-defying. He was already above those princes. Not only that, in my opinion, no prince could be compared to him. Even the Double Crown King was defeated. Who could be his opponent? Could it be that this person was really going to leave everyone in the dust? It seemed that if someone was going to become a great emperor, it was very likely to be him. Countless cries of surprise and discussion sounded. On Lin Xian's side, he swallowed a heaven and earth treasure and began to recover his soul. After meditating for a day, he stood up. His soul power had completely recovered. He had planted many spiritual herbs in the sword world. The effect of these spiritual herbs was more than 10 times that of the outside world. Therefore, his recovery was naturally fast. In the next moment, he took a deep breath and looked ahead. Then he opened the heavenly secret divine eye and covered the front. The sky and earth shook, and an array formation appeared. Everyone was shocked. There was actually an array formation, and they had not noticed it before. It was too shocking. At the same time, they also understood why this place was so dangerous. With such a magical array formation, they probably wouldn't even know how they died. Would they be able to break through such an array formation? Lin Xian snorted coldly. You guys should also put in some effort and send all your power into the void. As he said that, he waved his hand, and a black vortex appeared. The surrounding saints did not dare to be careless and attacked with all their might. They sent their power into it. The heaven-swallowing jar devoured these powers and was then used by Lin Xian. Lin Xian rushed over. Boom! The great dragon sword soul unleashed an earth-shattering attack, tearing apart the array formation. With a crack, the vortex disappeared. Those saints had a change in expression as they had consumed quite a bit of their energy this time. It was too shocking. What was with that sword strike just now? They were so frightened that they hurriedly swallowed medicinal pills to recover. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as well. Soon, the corners of his mouth curled up. He waved his hand and led Qing Cheng and the others towards the crack. The saints at the back were still consuming elixirs to recover. They were horrified by Lin Xian's methods, but When they discovered that the array formation had actually been split open, they were shocked. They were even more dumbfounded. It was a peerless sword. He hurried over, and they all followed him in. After they left, many more people arrived. After all, news of Lin Xian's victory over the Double Crown champion had attracted many experts. Moreover, the matter of the origin magnetic cave mansion had also spread out. If they could go in and get some treasures, that would be great for them. Therefore, these experts also entered one after another. It was incomparably mysterious inside. It was a cave mansion with a small entrance. After entering, it was a completely different world. Divine light circled around in the void. There was also a mysterious heavenly sound echoing between heaven and earth. "Get lost, this is mine." The skeleton saint roared out furiously and blasted away many people in the surroundings. Then he grabbed a stalk of spirit herb. That spirit herb was incomparably ancient and had grown for tens of thousands of years. However, in the next moment, the skeleton saint screamed. His body was smashed into pieces, and his bones scattered all over the ground. The broken bones quickly fled into the distance and reassembled. Then he was horrified. The others also made their moves. Some of them grabbed treasures and were stunned as they laughed foolishly. Some of them were directly injured. Lin Xian and the others moved quickly and found many treasures along the way. Madame Purple Star and the others wanted to make a move several times, but Lin Xian stopped her and said that it was an illusion. Illusion? Madame Purple Star and the others were shocked. Lin Xian's Rinnegan bloomed with radiance. That's right. There was also a powerful array formation in the cave mansion. It was either an illusion to kill or an illusion. Look at those people. Did you think that they had obtained spirit pills or heavenly treasures? Maybe it was just a piece of broken stone. This cave mansion is too strange. Be careful. I keep feeling that something is not right. What's wrong? Morong Qingcheng also asked. Lin Xian shook his head. He had a feeling that this was the first time he had seen an illusion. If there are no treasures, then there are no treasures. Why is it so intricate? Is it trying to lure people in? Then what is its purpose? Who knew which super mighty left it behind? So Lin Xian and the others were very careful. Indeed, the others were either injured or stupid, thinking that they had obtained treasures. At the same time, there was a black shadow at the back that would appear from time to time. Every time it attacked, it would swallow a person. It was Yao Guang. Yao Guang's face was pale. Lin Wudi, I don't believe that I can't catch up to you. He was furious. He had the demonic sky-devouring art. When he swallowed enough, he would definitely surpass the other party. At this moment, a cry of surprise suddenly came from the front. Then, a terrifying aura swept in all directions. Even Lin Xian and the others stopped and turned their heads to look to the side. The cave mansion was very spacious, and there were passages in every direction. At this moment, it was coming from the passage in the east. What's going on? They went over to take a look. Many people in front of them were torn apart. There was a stone platform there, and there was a lamp on it. The bronze lamp emitted a red light, and a bloody aura filled the air. After Zixing saw it, she gasped. The lamp oil seemed to be blood. Who lit the lamp? Someone roared. They could naturally feel the horror of the lamp, and some of them trembled in fear. When we came, this lamp was already lit. No way. We should be the first to enter this cave mansion. Other than our group, has anyone else come in before us? Could it be that this lamp has been lit since the cave mansion existed? How many tens of thousands of years have passed? This is the longevity lamp. Eternal life. At this moment, an old man stood up and said. Then he shouted coldly, and a terrifying force swept over. The surrounding voices were suppressed and retreated. In the next moment, their expressions changed. Sacred leader. That was the peak of the great sage realm. Did such a terrifying figure come? That's right. the longevity lamp was left behind by a super mighty figure of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. The person who could light up the longevity lamp was definitely extraordinary, surpassing the sage realm. If they could obtain it, it would be the fortune of heaven and earth for them. Another middle-aged man walked out. He was wearing a blue robe, and the aura on his body was equally terrifying. He was also a peak great sage. Chapter 5279. Peak great sages appeared one after another, causing the surrounding people to be shocked. Even such people had appeared. Did they still have any hope? One had to know that these were all peak experts. They were saint lords. They were the strongest existences among the sages. If you don't want to die, scram. One of them shouted coldly. His body emitted a terrifying aura, causing the surrounding people to vomit blood. A voice said, "Not good. It's the nine-headed Saint Lord. Retreat." He frantically retreated. Behind the nine-headed Saint Lord, 9 illusory heads appeared. It was abnormally strange and mysterious. On the other side, another Saint Lord made his move. White clouds appeared on his body. It was the White Cloud Saint Lord. The 2 Saint clans instantly started fighting. They were fighting for the longevity lamp. The moment the Saint Lords fought, their peak strength exploded. Their auras were terrifying. Everyone retreated. Even Lin Xian and the rest retreated. Morong Qingqing asked, "Brother Xian, what should we do? Should we snatch the bronze lamp?" Although there were Saint Lords now, with their strength, they could definitely snatch it if they used their trump cards. Of course, after that, they might be hunted down endlessly. Lin Xian thought about it and said, "There's no hurry. Let's see if there are other treasures first." Everyone nodded and quickly retreated. At this moment, a resplendent ray of light lit up in the distance, causing everyone to turn their heads to look. "Look, there are treasures there. Let's go." These people's eyes were red as they quickly flew over. There were Saint Lords fighting here. They couldn't get close at all. They could only look for other places. They were extremely fast. When they arrived at a large hall, they realized that there were some stone platforms in front. There were some pill bottles on top. They were pills. The experts who came and started fighting in an instant. More than 10 Saint Lords fought together. It was extremely terrifying. One had to know that this was left behind by a super expert of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. After tens of thousands of years, it was definitely extremely precious. The laws of these Saint Lords clashed together, causing a bright light to explode. The destructive power shattered the heaven and earth. However, the cave didn't move at all. It was even more shocking. Even the attacks of Saint Lords and Saint Lords couldn't break this place. One could imagine how terrifying the defense here was. "All of you, scram." At this moment, another person charged over from afar. The White Bone's sacred sword mercilessly slashed down, bringing with it an extremely strong aura of death, causing the entire world to turn gray. The surrounding people retreated in fear. The power of death could take away their life force and blood. They didn't dare to resist. The next moment, a skeletal figure appeared in the air. He laughed loudly and grabbed a pill bottle on the table. After it was opened, an even more shocking light appeared. Great, there really was a medicinal pill. He was overjoyed. After going out this time, he might be able to break through and become a holy lord. Boom. However, at this moment, a sword light slashed towards him. "Who dares to attack me? Do you want to die?" The skeleton saint roared furiously as the deathly aura around him became even more horrifying. The White Bone sword swept out in all directions. He turned around and swung his sword, but he was sent flying. The White Bone arm was chopped off. That arm was holding the pill bottle. At this moment, the pill bottle also flew into the void and was obtained by another person. The skeleton saint roared in anger. His eyes were burning with rage as he stared ahead. However, at the next moment, his scalp went numb. because he realized that it was Lin Wudi. "It's you?" He trembled in fear. Lin Wudi was now the double champion and was extremely powerful. He wasn't a match for him at all. After Lin Xian obtained the pill bottle, he didn't leave. Instead, he looked at the other bottles. There were 5 more bottles. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "If you don't want to die, scram." Once he said that, the surrounding dozen sages were enraged and turned around. Someone shouted, "Lin Wudi, don't be too arrogant." "That's right. You already have 1 bottle. Do you want to keep it all for yourself?" The skeleton saint jumped out and said, "Everyone, let's work together. Otherwise, they would be defeated one by one." "All right, let's work together for now." These sages naturally knew how terrifying Lin Wudi was and didn't dare to be careless. "Lin Wudi, you're too arrogant. I admit that you're an expert. You can defeat 3 prodigies, but can you defeat 5? Can you defeat 10? We have more than 10 sages working together. We're not something you young giants can compare to." The giant elephant saint snorted coldly. "I'll give you one last chance." "Scram." Lin Xian sneered. "Is that so? It seems like you don't know what's good for you." He waved his hand, and Murong Qingcheng, Yan Ryu, and the others walked up. "Attack," Lin Xian said. Then he used his Rinnegan to kill. He attacked the giant elephant saint. The giant elephant saint roared crazily. His eyes split open, and he was sent flying with blood flowing out. With one look, his soul was severely injured. Buzz. At this moment, Lin Xian wielded the underworld sword and slashed his opponent in half. His opponent's soul was destroyed. Dead. The surrounding people were shocked. Such a terrifying saint was actually instantly killed by the other party. Attack. The skeleton saint also felt his blood run cold. The others also attacked with all their strength. Lin Xian attacked with his sword. Murong Qingcheng and the others also attacked with all their might. Soon, those people screamed, "The skeleton saint," and the others were in despair. How was this possible? Other than Lin Wudi, the people around Lin Xian were mostly young. Every one of them was stronger than them. Now that they were working together, it was like a group of dragons attacking. They swept through them. In the blink of an eye, half of their people had fallen. The remaining people were also heavily injured. Run. Those people ran frantically. They didn't dare to snatch anymore. The remaining 5 bottles of pills were left for Lin Xian and the others. After opening it, everyone felt refreshed. So scary. I can feel an extremely strong blood energy. These pills were definitely refined with more than 10 types of sage blood. Lin Xian sensed it and nodded. There was definitely dragon blood inside. This was a sacred medicine that could increase one's blood energy and strengthen one's body. Everyone was delighted. Boom. At this moment, another ray of light appeared on the other side. At the same time, terrifying flames flew out. Lin Xian and the others were even more shocked. It seemed that something even more magical had appeared. However, before they could act, 4 figures rushed out in the blink of an eye. These 4 figures were all at the peak of the great sage realm. They were all sacred lords. Their shocking power was incomparably vast. "Come, let's follow them." Lin Xian and the others followed. After entering, they found that there was a hall in front of them. Smoke filled the air. It wasn't poison. Instead, it was a type of fragrance. "This is..." Lin Xian and the others were shocked and looked forward. They found that there was a divine altar there with an incense burner on it. There were 3 incense sticks on it. The smell was coming from there. Chapter 5280. Heavens! Could this be the legendary immortal spirit incense? One of the sacred lords roared crazily. Another sacred lord also exclaimed in shock, "I know that this is an extremely precious item of the Yuhua immortal dynasty, but I didn't expect it to appear here." These sacred ancestors had all gone crazy. The others were also dumbfounded after hearing this. So precious? Someone instantly attacked, drawing a line in the air. It was extremely fast. This was a lightning leopard. Although it was only a sacred lord, its speed had a huge advantage. Moreover, it could instantly succeed while the others were unprepared. As expected, it arrived in front in an instant. Ha ha, it's mine. It stretched out its claws and grabbed the immortal spirit incense. Damn it! How dare you? Stop! The surrounding people roared. Even the sacred lords were enraged. They released powerful killing intent. Whoosh! At this moment, a ball of flame floated out of the incense burner and directly enveloped the lightning leopard. The lightning leopard screamed and turned into ashes. It was dead. The surrounding people were shocked. Some people who wanted to attack instantly stopped. It seemed that this incense burner wasn't simple. Not only did it contain the immortal spirit incense, but it also had a terrifying flame. Even a sacred lord would be instantly burned to ashes. The others were all terrified. The 4 saint sovereigns laughed loudly. Humph! Ants, back off. This isn't a treasure that you can obtain. Speaking of this, one of the sacred ancestors stretched out his palm and grabbed forward. On his palm, there were 100,000 seas revolving around it. It was extremely terrifying. This was the Starseed sacred ancestor. Someone exclaimed, "He's too powerful. We can't fight against him at all." Even the sacred lords were in despair. The Starseed sacred lord's palm grabbed forward. In the incense burner, flames flew out again. The 100,000 seas were burned into clouds. At this moment, the Starseed sacred ancestor's pupils shrank. He groaned and retracted his palm. His palm was charred black, and there were drops of sacred blood dripping from it. What's going on? Even the sacred lords were injured? What kind of flame is this? This is too unbelievable. Attack. The other 3 sacred lords also attacked when they saw this scene. The laws on their bodies erupted as they charged forward. There were only 3 immortal spirit incense. The 4 of them were destined to fail. No one wanted to be the unlucky one, so they all attacked like crazy. In an instant, the space in front of him was shattered, and the endless space was torn apart. Energy could kill everything. Retreat quickly. The surrounding saints were in despair and quickly retreated. It seemed like they had no fate with this treasure. Purple Star, Yunyu, and Murong Qingcheng were also forced back. No, it's too strong. We can't withstand it at all. Purple Star frowned. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and said, "After this, everyone could move on their own and explore other places." Indeed, what he pursued was different from others. What he wanted, Madame Purple Star, Yunyu, and the others did not have the strength to obtain it. Yen Ryu also said that the immortal spirit incense should be used to improve the soul. "I'm not good at this. That's why it's useless to me. I'm going to check out other places." Murong Qingcheng also had the same idea. "All right, if there's any danger, I'll just send a voice transmission." Lin Xian, on the other hand, is determined to get it because he has just cultivated Rinnegan. Although this eye was terrifying, it consumed a terrifying amount of soul energy to use. Once used excessively, it might even damage the soul. Now that a soul treasure like the immortal spirit incense had appeared, how could Lin Xian give it up? So he also rushed forward. Someone else is coming? Many people were shocked, and even the 4 Saint Lords' pupils shrank. This way, the competition would be even more intense. For pairs of eyes pierced through the void and looked behind. This huge pressure made Lin Xian's blood boil. He shouted coldly, and a terrifying divine flame burned on his body. The dragon sword's soul roared and slashed the sky, tearing apart the pressure. At the same time, he came forward. It's a young man. The starry ocean divine ancestor frowned. "Wasn't this a little too reckless?" Lin Xian said proudly. "I want this thing." "What?" The other 3 holy lords were also stunned. You want it? Who do you think you are? The surrounding saints retreated while they were shocked by this scene. When they realized that the young man was Lin Xian, they immediately exclaimed, "Heaven is him, and he's Lin Wuti. So it's him. I heard that he defeated the double champion, Hun Tian. Now, he's also a double champion. That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. He's really terrifying." Hearing those words, the four holy sovereigns started to frown. Lin Wuti, young paragon, double champion. They were also shocked. He was definitely one of the top young people. The starry ocean divine ancestor said, "So, Lin Wuti is you. All right, we'll give you face. Leave now, and we'll guarantee that you'll be unharmed. Leave." The other three Saint Lords also said in a low voice. The surrounding people were shocked. Lin Wuti was indeed strong. One must know that whoever dared to offend the divine ancestor would definitely die. Even the saints wouldn't dare. But now, the four Saint Lords were giving face to Lin Wuti. This was unbelievable. However, Lin Xian shook his head. "Like I said, I'll take it." The four Saint Lords' faces darkened. The starry ocean divine ancestor said, "Young man, don't go overboard. There are some people you can't offend." The other Saint Lord was called the Heavenly Profound Saint Lord. He snorted coldly. "Do you think that you can ignore everything just because you're a young paragon? Let me tell you, you're too weak to face the divine ancestor." After saying that, he took a step forward. The terrifying power on his body pressed down on Lin Xian like an avalanche. Lin Xian naturally felt the huge pressure. He snorted coldly and opened his right eye. He also released a powerful soul aura to fight back. A rumbling sound rang out. It was like 10,000 claps of thunder. Lin Xian blocked the aura. Seeing this, the Xiantian Saint Lord's face changed. The power of this soul. He was too shocked. This was already equivalent to the soul of the divine ancestor. The other parties, I was so magical. The other Saint Lords were also shocked. They didn't expect his soul to be so powerful. No wonder he dared to come. However, it's useless. Just his soul is equivalent to the divine ancestors. But your physique laws and cultivation base are too far apart. When we really fight, you'll know the difference between us." After saying that, they sneered and no longer paid attention to Lin Xian. Instead, they attacked again. For a moment, the incense burner in front of them swayed like a storm. However, at this time, countless flames floated out of the incense burner. They formed a flame lotus that enveloped everyone. The flame lotus kept blooming. The temperature on it was too high. It made the four Saint Lords roar. Lin Xian also felt the temperature. His pupils constricted. However, in the next moment, he snorted coldly. So, what if the flame was powerful? He activated the 9-yang divine body to fight back. At the same time, he absorbed the flame. He said, "Seniors, can't you withstand the power of the flame?" Chapter 5281. Kid, what did you say? The heavenly profound sacred tribe roared. "You dare to laugh at us? Damn it!" The star ocean's sacred ancestor's face darkened as he looked at the other party. He realized that there was also a terrifying flame gathering on Lin Xian's body. There was even an illusion of the sun surrounding him. His pupils shrank. Divine 9-yang body. They were shocked that you had such a physique. The other sacred ancestors were also shocked. The divine 9-yang body was extremely strong and had the terrifying 9-yang divine fire. Naturally, its defense was strong. The other party's trump card was beyond their expectations. The people in the distance were also shocked when they saw this scene. It seemed that the winner was still uncertain. Kid, don't be arrogant. So what if you have the divine 9-yang body? You haven't mastered it yet. Furthermore, the flames here might not be good for your divine body. Not good? Lin Xian snorted. I think you guys are worse." After saying that, he no longer paid any attention to these people and walked forward. He took a step forward, and a sea of fire spread out in front of him, rushing over crazily. Lin Xian roared. Countless runes spun on the divine nine-yang body. He resisted and absorbed the flames. Gradually, Lin Xian pulled away. The four sacred masters behind him also roared. Damn it. Quick, don't let him succeed. If their treasure was taken away by a young man, it would be a slap to their faces. They used their own methods and advanced together. However, they didn't have the divine nine-yang body, so they weren't as fast as Lin Xian. In addition, Lin Xian was in front and attacked them from time to time. The four sacred masters were so angry that they vomited blood. Damn kid, you dare to attack us? Just you wait. When I catch you later, I will tear you into pieces. They were about to go crazy. Lin Xian sneered. Can you catch me? Arrogant. They had never seen such an arrogant person. Damn it. The heavenly, profound, sacred master roared. A war chariot appeared under his feet, releasing a terrifying, profound Tao aura. On the other side, the Star Ocean sacred master also took out a star chart. Above, a terrible sea was surging. The other two Saint Lords also unleashed their ultimate techniques. It was obvious that they were really angry. Sure enough, their speed was much faster than before as they charged towards Lin Xian. Brat, let's see how you'll die later. They felt that they would be able to catch Lin Xian in the next moment. However, at that moment, a piercingly cold sword Qi appeared on Lin Xian's body and slashed forward. He split the sea of fire in front of him. His speed increased again, and he instantly pulled apart the distance between them. The four saint leaders were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. This damned brat was so strange that he even had treasures on him. They were mad with anger. Seeing that Lin Xian was getting closer and closer to the incense burner, could it be that the item was really going to be taken away by him? The four of them gritted their teeth and decided to join forces. At this moment, a roar came from afar. Immediately after, the monstrous sea of fire also surged over and collided with the fire lotus in front of him. Flames danced in the air, enveloping the entire world. Not good. Retreat quickly. The expressions of those who were still watching changed drastically. They quickly retreated. Some of them didn't manage to escape in time and were instantly turned into ashes. It was too terrifying. Those who were running away were terrified. They saw a fire Qilin charging towards them with 10,000 flames. The fire Qilin was extraordinarily mighty. It stepped on auspicious clouds and carried 10,000 flames as it charged forward. In an instant, it arrived at the fire lotus and quickly overtook the four saint leaders. At the same time, it charged towards Lin Xian. The four saint leaders were shocked. Did someone overtake them again? And it was a Qilin? Lin Xian felt the aura and turned his head. In the next moment, he frowned. Fire Qilin? Was it someone from the Qilin cave? Moreover, it was coming for him. He shouted coldly and formed a seal with his palms. The demonic god seal attacked. A huge seal with monstrous demonic qi slammed forward. It collided with the fire Qilin. With a boom, heaven and earth rumbled. The fire Qilin retreated a few steps and roared at the sky. Lin Wudi, you are indeed extraordinary. The fire Qilin stood in the air and said coldly. Lin Xian stopped and looked at the fire Qilin with a frown. You are fire Qilin. When they were fighting just now, he felt that the fire Qilin's bloodline was abnormally terrifying. Only the Emperor's son had such a bloodline power. That's right. It's me. The fire Qilin was fire Qilin. He was here too. However, he had been searching for treasures previously, so he didn't appear in front of everyone. Now, he came with the power of 10,000 flames. Lin Wudi, you are indeed extraordinary. Fire Qilin, looked down at him from above. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes as well. You've hidden yourself well. I didn't expect you to be a double-crown champion. Fire Qilin was stunned. Then he snorted coldly. You found out. There were 2 illusions of crowns on top of his head, which made him look extraordinarily valiant. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Because I am also a double-crown champion. He also had 2 crowns on his head, which was abnormally mysterious. Fire Qilin was shocked. You have also broken through. He was also shocked. He originally thought that he would be able to kill Lin Wudi. That was because he had a fortuitous encounter during this period of time. The Emperor's son's bloodline was already extraordinary. He was blessed by the heavens and far surpassed others. If he had a fortuitous encounter, it wouldn't be difficult for him to surpass everyone. Now, he had broken through and become a double-crown champion. He originally thought that he could defeat everyone. Who would have thought that Lin Xian would also become a double-crown champion? Fire Qilin's face was cold. He was a cautious person because he liked to scheme. He would even harm others. Previously, the Dragon Prince had been schemed against by him and almost died. Therefore, now that he saw that Lin Xian's strength was on par with his, he naturally wouldn't make a move easily. Moreover, there were 4 sacred leaders beside him. Good, good, good. It seems that I have underestimated you. Let's fight. We'll fight again in the future. Let's fight for treasures now. Let's fight with our own abilities. As he spoke, the Qilin auspicious clouds on his body continued to erupt. He killed in front of him. Fight again in the future? Lin Xian sneered. Since they were fighting for treasures, how could they not fight? As he spoke, he rushed forward and slapped out with his palm. Fire Qilin roared angrily. He also spat out a ray of fire. The collision between the 2 was earth-shattering. The battle between the 2 double-crown champions was too terrifying. When the 4 sacred leaders saw this scene, their faces also turned gloomy. If the 4 of them didn't join forces, the treasures would be taken by those 2 brats. The 4 sacred leaders discussed and decided to join forces. Kill. At this moment, the power that erupted from them was extremely terrifying. One had to know that they were sacred ancestors. They stood at the peak of the great sage realm. Their speed also increased exponentially, and in an instant, they also rushed forward. Sensing the power coming from behind, Lin Xian and Fire Qilin's faces turned cold. Hui Qilin's body transformed into a handsome man. He stretched out his hand and grabbed in front of him. Countless Qilin scales surrounded his palm. Lin Xian was even faster. He waved his arm, and a sword light flashed as he slashed at the immortal spirit incense. Chapter 5282. The 4 divine ancestors exclaimed, "How dare you?" Even Hui Qilin's pupils constricted. This guy is too bold. Isn't he afraid of destroying the immortal forest incense? Lin Xian's sword technique was extremely accurate. He cut down 1 immortal spirit incense and took it away. Hui Qilin followed closely behind and snatched another one. Then the 2 of them left. Damn it! The 4 divine ancestors roared crazily. However, they didn't chase after them. Instead, they started fighting. There was only 1 group left, and there was no danger. Naturally, they didn't need to work together. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian scoffed coldly. Let these old fogies fight it out then. He didn't care anymore. After putting away the immortal spirit incense, Lin Xian looked around again. He saw Morong Qingcheng, Yan Ruyu, and the others fighting. Some were snatching spiritual herbs, some were fighting for weapons, and some were even more mysterious than divine crystals. Boom! At this moment, a crazy roar came from afar. Damn it! How dare you? In the next moment, everyone realized that a terrifying aura was surging towards them. Everyone looked over, and Lin Xian also used his Rinnegan to observe. Under his Rinnegan, everything became clear. He could see that someone was coming. There were 3 people. The ones chasing behind were 2 divine ancestors. They were the 9-headed divine ancestor and the white cloud divine ancestor. The one running at the front was surrounded by an extremely terrifying yin-yang aura. It was Kunpengzi. At this moment, Kunpengzi was holding a bronze lamp in his hand. The Kunpeng wings on his back swayed as he used his maximum speed to escape. Lin Xian was surprised. Isn't that the longevity lamp? Kunpengzi actually got it. Leave it for me? The white cloud's sacred ancestor roared furiously and shot out an auspicious cloud, charging forward quickly. It blocked the path. Kunpengzi roared angrily and transformed into a Kunpeng. His body shook and shattered the void. Lin Xian was surprised. Kunpengzi's strength had increased a lot. Although he hadn't become the double champion, he was not far away. It seemed that these people had really had fortuitous encounters. Being enveloped by this power, Kunpengzi roared angrily. Endless illusions of seawater appeared on his body. Heaven and earth were frozen. Everyone felt their bodies turn cold. The 2 sacred lords behind him also felt this power. He immediately snorted coldly. The 9 heads of the 9-headed divine ancestor roared into the sky, shattering the ice. He strode over. Sacred ancestor Bai Yun's figure was even more ethereal. Although his speed had decreased a little, he was still extremely terrifying. As a young giant, the emperor's son was extremely terrifying. His strength had already surpassed a saint. However, he was still a little lacking compared to the peak of the great sage realm. Even though the Kunpeng was much stronger than before, it could barely contend with the sacred ancestor. However, in the face of 2 sacred ancestors, he wasn't weak at all. However, he was an imperial prince after all, and he had trump cards. With an angry roar, the yin-yang aura on his body became even more terrifying. Everyone's expression changed. This guy couldn't be thinking of using an imperial weapon, right? Even Lin Xian was shocked. What was the Kunpeng's monarch weapon? However, what shocked him even more was yet to come. That was because the extreme aura instantly disappeared. Lin Xian was stunned. Kunpengzi was even more stunned. What's going on? He couldn't use an extreme weapon. The 9-headed divine ancestor and sacred ancestor Bai Yun were also shocked. They didn't expect the other party to be an imperial prince who could use an extreme weapon. However, when the extreme Dao weapon disappeared, they laughed. Humph, this is the deity ground, the place of the Yuhua celestial dynasty. It's incomparably mysterious. It doesn't allow extreme power to appear. So don't even think about using it again. Hearing this, Kunpengzi's expression became extremely ugly. The surrounding people were in an uproar, and Lin Xian's expression changed. It doesn't allow extreme power to be used? How is that possible? He was about to use the heaven-devouring jar when he discovered that it was sealed. Indeed, the heaven-devouring jar felt a sealing power that seemed to be unable to appear here. How strange. It shouldn't be. There was something wrong with this cave abode. Previously, Su Chen could still use the power of the heaven-devouring jar outside, but after entering, he realized that he couldn't use it anymore. What was in the cave abode? In this case, the situation was not good. The heaven-devouring jar was one of his most powerful trump cards. However, he wasn't too worried because he still had the sword world. If this cave couldn't do it, he could bring the enemy into the sword world to fight. Over there, he would still be able to use extreme weapons. Thinking of this, he calmed down. After confirming that he couldn't use extreme weapons, Kunpengzi threw out the longevity lamp. "Kid, you know what's good for you?" The 9-headed divine ancestor sneered. Sacred ancestor Bai Yun also soared into the sky, and the 2 of them fought again. They snatched the longevity lamp. Kunpengzi retreated to the side with an ugly expression. He saw Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the others. He nodded slightly and greeted them. Lin Xian also smiled. I didn't expect you to be here too. This is the second imperial prince. Another imperial prince is here? Kun Pengzi also frowned. Hui Qilinzi had just fought with the other party, and then that guy left. Hearing this name, Kun Pengzi's face turned cold. He said, "This guy is very sinister. You have to be careful in the future." Previously, the Dragon Princess Dao injury was caused by him. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't know about this. He had to be careful in the future. The two sacred masters in front of him attacked. The scene was terrifying. Next, the four sacred masters who snatched the immortal Lingxiang also arrived. When they saw that it was the longevity lamp, they also attacked. The six sacred masters fought, and the others all retreated. No one dared to get close. Kun Pengzi gritted his teeth. Damn it, if only I could use extreme weapons. If that's the case, I can get it. However, at this moment, something strange happened. A blurry figure appeared out of thin air, and he instantly grabbed the longevity lamp. Who's that? The six sacred masters roared. The others were also shocked and looked up at the sky. However, they realized that the figure was very blurry, as if it was just an illusion. Damn it, a mere projection wants to snatch the treasure from our hands? How naive. The nine-headed divine ancestor roared, and a terrifying power swept out. The other sacred masters also attacked. However, the figure was too fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The longevity lamp was taken away by him. Damn it, where do you think you're going? The sacred masters chased after him. Let's go as well. Lin Xian will bring some people along. Kun Pengzi and the other experts followed. They also wanted to see who could take away the longevity lamp. The group of people passed through countless corridors and halls and finally arrived in front of them. They realized that the blurry figure had stopped. He stood there with the longevity lamp in his hand. Everyone around him felt their hair stand on end. Even Lin Xian, Kun Pengzi, and the others felt their hearts beat wildly. They felt a terrifying pressure engulfing them from all directions. Chapter 5283. How could this aura be so terrifying? Even the six sacred leaders stopped. They did not dare to act rashly. The surrounding people felt their hair stand on end. The hazy figure in front of them continued to walk forward. His footsteps were extremely slow. Everyone realized that he had entered a stone door in front of them. The stone door was half open. That guy had placed the longevity lamp inside the stone door. Everyone could only see a ball of flame flickering inside. What was inside the stone door? Everyone was shocked. Everyone seemed to have seen a black figure. It seemed that there was someone inside the stone door. Was it that guy from before? Humph, no matter who it is, I want to see. A sacred leader's eyes shone like a divine lamp, piercing through heaven and earth. Even Lin Xian opened his Rinnegan and looked forward. In the next moment, Lin Xian's Rinnegan's pupils shrank. His right eye was tightly shut. A piercing pain came from his right eye. Lin Xian was shocked. He could not even look directly at the Rinnegan. The sacred leader in front of them screamed. Blood flowed out of his eyes as he screamed crazily. The surrounding people went crazy. Just one look was enough to cause such a change. That was a sacred leader. What was in front of them? The nine-headed sacred leader, and the others felt their hair stand on end. They waited for a long time, but the person inside did not come out. In the next moment, they finally gathered their courage and walked forward together. That was because the injured sacred leader had not recovered yet. Boom, boom. They slowly opened the stone door. Finally, everyone could see what was inside. However, before they could see clearly, the 5 sacred leaders were sent flying back while vomiting blood. Their bodies were covered with cracks. The 5 sacred leaders were terrified. Retreat, retreat quickly. They frantically retreated. The people behind them were also shocked. Murong Qingcheng and the others also gasped. Even a sacred leader could not block it. Could it be that he had surpassed the sage realm? Everyone raised their heads and looked forward in fear. At this moment, they finally saw it clearly. In the stone house in front of them, there was a man in an ancient robe sitting there. His head was slightly lowered, and he held an ancient scroll in his hand. It was intact. He seemed to be sleeping. The longevity lamp in front of them was constantly flickering. Who was this person? Could it be an expert left behind by the Yuhua immortal dynasty? Could it be that he was the master of the elemental magnetic cavern? An ancient superpower? Thinking of this, they were extremely shocked. That was impossible. How many tens of thousands of years ago was that? He was definitely dead. However, his body was actually preserved in such a complete state after his death. It was truly inconceivable. Quasi-emperor. This was a quasi-emperor. Nine-headed Saint Master roared, crazily. The others were also stunned after hearing this. What? He's a quasi-emperor. That was an existence that surpassed the great sage. They were people who were unimaginably terrifying. It was no wonder that the 5 sacred ancestors were sent flying as soon as they approached. No matter how he thought about it, only a quasi-emperor would have such power. The corpse of a quasi-emperor? Lin Xian was equally shocked. This was an existence at the level of Lord Alcohol. He was definitely an expert who could sweep across the world. He was only one step away from becoming a true great emperor. The others, on the other hand, felt that it was a pity. The longevity lamp was beside him, so who would dare to go over? I'm afraid there's no hope. Just as everyone was sighing, despairing, and about to leave, the blurry figure from before had actually appeared again. He was standing near the stone door. A deep voice rang out. Who wants the longevity lamp? The moment this voice rang out, everyone stopped and turned around. Nine-headed Saint Master and the others immediately bowed. Greetings, Senior. We're all descendants of the Yuhua immortal head. Perhaps the other party would reward us with the longevity lamp on account of our kindness. Thinking of this, they felt excited. Descendants of the Yuhua immortal dynasty? Not bad. The blurry figure nodded slightly and said, You have a high chance of obtaining the longevity lamp, as long as you can help me with something. What is it? The 6 sacred masters were extremely excited. Senior, please tell us. We'll do anything to help you. Not just the 6 of you, but anyone can do it as long as you can fulfill my requirements. I'll give you the longevity lamp. The longevity lamp has an extraordinary origin and is extremely mysterious. It's also a precious treasure in the Yuhua immortal dynasty. You must grab hold of this opportunity. Hearing this, everyone's eyes turned red. Senior, please give us your orders. Follow me. The hazy silhouette floated forward, and everyone followed. Kuan Pingzi also followed, because he felt that this might be a ray of hope. Lin Xian squinted his eyes and looked forward again, because he was very curious. How did this sub-emperor die? Did he die of old age? After all, he wasn't injured. Moreover, he was holding a scroll in his hand when he died. It was too unbelievable. What was it that made him want to look at it before he died? He was very curious and carefully used his Rinnegan to look. Left eye closed, right eye opened. He used his Rinnegan with all his might. At this moment, his right eye was extremely mysterious. It was as if it was the 6 paths of reincarnation. Lin Xian felt a huge pressure. However, the Rinnegan was mysterious and was the legendary eye. Lin Xian could still see some of it. The scroll was very mysterious. After countless years, it wasn't damaged at all. The metal used to create it must be extremely powerful. Lin Xian even guessed that it might be the metal used to create an extreme weapon. On the scroll, Lin Xian saw a line of words, a line of blood-red words. He didn't know how it was engraved, Those words were so sharp that Lin Xian's eyes couldn't stop shaking. That pressure was simply too terrifying. When he saw the line of words clearly, Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. The path to immortality was broken. No fate with the emperor. Longevity. Difficult, difficult, difficult. His words were filled with sorrow and sadness. Lin Xian closed his eyes. His face turned pale. Murong Qingcheng, next to him, supported him. She asked, "How is Brother Xian?" Yan Ryu also said, "Don't use the Rinnegan anymore." After a while, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He bowed respectfully to the quasi-emperor's corpse in front of him, then turned and left. The people around were also surprised. Murong Qingcheng asked, "Brother Xian, what did you find?" Yan Ryu and the others were also curious. Lin Xian shook his head and didn't say anything. Instead, he said, "Let's go and take a look." That line of words was too shocking. Lin Xian could only feel a sense of sadness. He didn't completely understand the specific meaning. Were there immortals in the world? In the past? But now it's gone? No fate with the emperor. Did every great emperor not have an opportunity? Or was it that by the time they reached the Yuhua immortal dynasty, the opportunity was gone? As for longevity, it was easy to understand. Everyone was pursuing immortality. But who could do it? The longevity lamp seemed to be just a beautiful wish. Lin Xian didn't know. But no matter what, he would definitely continue to walk all the way. He wanted to become a great emperor. Thinking of this, he quickened his pace and led everyone forward. Ahead, the hazy figure led the way and arrived at a hall. Everyone was stunned as they looked ahead. Chapter 52-84. The scene in front was too strange. There were tens of thousands of dragons circling around, forming a mysterious jade platform. Light surrounded it, and celestial energy filled the air. It was as if they were about to ascend. Those who didn't know would think that they were in the celestial world. Even the Saint Lords and Saint Lords were dumbfounded. When Lin Xian and the others arrived, they were equally astonished when they saw the scene before them. What a terrifying place. At the same time, they saw that there was a coffin on the jade platform formed by the tens of thousands of dragons. That ancient coffin was too extraordinary. It was as if it was going to crush the world. Everyone felt a huge pressure on their souls. A few saint sovereigns cried out in alarm. Heavens, who was buried here? Could it be a Tharch? They knew that the Yuhua celestial dynasty had produced more than one Tharch. Back then, the entire Yuhua celestial dynasty wanted to ascend. One could imagine how powerful they were back then. Everyone's eyes were red as they walked forward. However, they quickly retreated because the aura of the coffin was too terrifying. It made them vomit blood. They could only kneel and worship below the jade platform. Kun Pengzi was also shocked. He took a deep breath and asked, "Senior, why did you bring us here?" The others also came back to their senses and looked at the blurry figure. The hazy figure spoke. It was very simple. "Open the ancient coffin. Whoever can open it will have the longevity lamp." No way. Everyone was shocked. It was very likely that he was buying a Tharch. Even if he wasn't, he was still an incredible figure. Who would dare to act rashly with such an ancient coffin? At the same time, they were also curious about what was in the ancient coffin. Even someone like the mysterious figure was tempted. The mysterious figure said with his hands behind his back, "There is something inside that I need. Because of my identity, I can't ascend the jade platform and can't get close to the ancient coffin. So I can only ask others for help." Lin Xian and the others frowned. Identity? What was the reason? One had to know that ordinary people couldn't get close to the jade platform because they couldn't withstand the pressure. However, this mysterious figure obviously wasn't the reason. In front, a few Saint Lords tried, but they couldn't ascend. Kun Pengzi also returned without success. He said that if they could use extreme weapons, they wouldn't be able to get close. The others also shook their heads and sighed. The mysterious figure said, "There was no hurry. When the full moon came tonight, the pressure would be at its lowest. When the time comes, it will be an opportunity for you. You must grasp it well. Tonight, they all took a deep breath and began to wait. Night fell, and the bright moonlight in the sky was like a disk, sprinkling its radiance. It was a full moon night. The pressure on the jade platform had indeed decreased. It had even decreased by half. Everyone's eyes lit up. If that was the case, they might still have a chance. Thus, the sacred lords all began to experiment. The starry sea sacred ancestor roared, like a god of the starry sky. He charged straight for the jade platform. In an instant, he felt immense pressure. With a furious roar, the stars on his body activated, turning into a star chart to block the attack. He walked very slowly. The other sacred ancestors, such as Sacred Lord Xian Tian and the others, also tried. Kun Pengzi roared. Black and white auras surrounded his body, making him look like an yin-yang god. He also charged over. When they stepped onto the jade platform, they felt boundless pressure. The carved dragon and painted dragon on the jade platform was incomparably mysterious. Lin Xian looked at this scene and narrowed his eyes. He said to Murong Qingcheng, Yan Ruyu, and the others beside him, "You can try to." Everyone nodded and walked up. Zixing and Yunyu also came. They also walked forward. After stepping onto the cloud platform, they felt their souls shake. They climbed about 5 steps. Yunyu, Zixing, and the others retreated. At the same time, more people also retreated. Those who could reach the front were definitely the most powerful people. However, after climbing 10 steps, Yan Ruyu, Murong Qingcheng, and the others could no longer move forward. Even Kun Pengzi and the other sacred ancestors stopped. They could not move forward. That was enough. Murong Qingcheng and Yan Ruyu joined forces and walked down. They were like the goddess of the 9 heavens, making others look up to her. The 2 of them did not intend to open the coffin. They came here to test the pressure. It was just a challenge. They wanted to strengthen their vitality and physique. Gradually, the sacred lords could no longer hold on. At this moment, Kun Pengzi roared angrily and slapped out. He turned into a Kun Peng and soared into the sky, charging forward. Everyone exclaimed. What was this guy trying to do? The Kun Peng danced between heaven and earth, but it was quickly suppressed and then disappeared. The other sacred lords also used their sacred artifacts and ultimate techniques to open the way. They continued to move forward, but after another 5 steps, they came to a complete stop. Lin Xian also followed closely. The 9 yang divine body emitted a terrifying light, and the pressure on his body was like a mountain. There were even cracks in some places. However, he had cultivated a powerful cultivation technique after all. He also had immortality, so he was able to recover quickly. However, if he continued forward, he would have to use other ultimate techniques. The 9 yang divine body's power was probably not enough. Lin Xian took out the Hellfire Dragon Sword and slashed down as if it could split heaven and earth. Just like that, he walked forward with his sword, and 1 step at a time. Gradually, he surpassed Kun Pengzi and the other sacred lords and came to the front. Damn it, it's this brat again. When Sacred Lord Xian Tian and the others saw this scene, they gritted their teeth in anger. Last time, they were suppressed by the other party, which made them lose face. They didn't expect it to be the same situation this time. They definitely couldn't let this brat go. Boom, boom. At this moment, a rumbling sound came from the distance again. The fire Qilin came with thousands of flames. It stepped across heaven and earth. Everyone was terrified. Yan Ruyu, Murong Qingcheng, and the others also looked up. Kun Pengzi turned his head, and his pupils shrank. The fire Qilin was here. The fire Qilin was here again. When he arrived, he looked at the jade platform and the ancient coffin in front of him and exclaimed, "What a mysterious place!" He also flew forward. However, halfway through, Lin Xian had already reached the top of the jade platform. He arrived in front of the ancient coffin. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Even the entire jade platform kept shaking. Everyone was shocked. Their blood boiled, and they all retreated. Only Lin Xian was left on the jade platform. The hazy figure's body shook. Obviously, he was extremely excited. Did someone really succeed? She felt that it was too unbelievable. One had to know. The night of the full moon suppressed half of the pressure, but not everyone could reach it. At least those sacred lords had no hope. She didn't expect someone to succeed this time. That's great. A trace of light flashed in his eyes. After waiting for tens of thousands of years, he was finally going to succeed this time. Chapter 5285. Everyone looked in front of them. It was Lin Wudi. God, he actually succeeded. Could it be that he was going to get the longevity lamp? Those people were extremely envious. Some of the divine ancestors gritted their teeth. Damn it, it was that kid again. Don't worry, he might not succeed. Maybe he would be seriously injured by the ancient coffin. Even the fire Qilin's eyes had a trace of shocking light. The hazy figure said, "Young man, do it. Open the ancient coffin, and the longevity lamp is yours." Lin Xian lowered his head and looked at the ancient coffin below. The ancient coffin was made of jade, and it was abnormally simple. There were mysterious patterns engraved on it, and there were 4 divine beasts dancing on it. The person buried here was definitely extraordinary, but for some reason, when he wanted to open the ancient coffin, his heart beat wildly, especially his right eye. The Rinnegan seemed to be warning him. Lin Xian saw a blurry image through the Rinnegan. It was only for a moment, not even a second, but Lin Xian still saw it. He gasped, and his expression became incomparably shocked, because he saw a figure lying in the ancient coffin, and the body was also intact. This silhouette was 90% similar to the hazy silhouette. This shocked Lin Xian. Could it be that the hazy figure didn't want to take anything at all, but wanted to open the ancient coffin and merge with the body? What was that hazy figure? The soul of this powerhouse? Thinking of this, Lin Xian felt even more creeped out. This ancient coffin must not be opened. Lin Xian's hand stopped in midair. The hazy figure said, "Young man, what are you waiting for? Continue?" Lin Xian asked, "Senior, what is in the ancient coffin? Can you tell me? Also, who is buried here?" Hearing this, the hazy figure's face darkened. "What do you mean? Are you doubting me?" Lin Xian also smiled. "I don't dare to doubt you, but I'm not very interested in the ancient coffin. I don't want to open it either." As he said that, he turned around and walked down. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were stunned. What was Lin Wudi doing? The mysterious figure was also stunned. The next moment, he asked in a low voice, "Don't you want the longevity lamp?" "It doesn't matter. Treasures belong to those who are fated to obtain them. If I can't obtain them, it means that I'm not fated." Lin Xian waved his hand and walked down the jade platform without hesitation. Everyone was shocked. This guy really came down. What was going on? The sacred sovereigns were also bewildered. Kuan Pingzi, Huiqilinzi, and the others were also stunned. Murong Qingcheng frowned. From the looks of it, Brother Xian should have discovered something. "Are you really going to give up?" Fire Qilin looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged. "I'll leave the opportunity to you. With your double crown monarch bloodline and your imperial bloodline, it should not be a problem for you to reach the jade platform." After that, Lin Xian walked over to Murong Qingcheng and whispered, "Let's go, let's go." He had an anxious look on his face. Murong Qingcheng and the others were stunned, but they quickly reacted and turned to leave. "What's going on?" Why do I feel that Lin Wuti is running away? Some sacred sovereigns were puzzled. It can't be, right? How could there be something that could scare him? How terrifying would that be? Damn it, Lin Wuti must have discovered something on the Jade platform. Fire Qilinzi was also stunned. He was also wondering what Lin Wuti had discovered. He was a cautious person, and he had a certain understanding of Lin Wuti. He knew that Lin Wuti was unscrupulous and daring. He was definitely not a coward. Lin Wuti should have his reasons for not opening it. Thinking of this, Qilinzi shook his head and turned to leave. No way. Even Qilinzi left. Could it be that there was really something wrong with the ancient coffin? The others were even more panicked. Why don't we leave too? Some people also wanted to leave. At this moment, the hazy figure finally became anxious. Fight! Who dares to leave? I want him dead. As he spoke, he waved his hand, and 3 sacred sovereigns turned into blood mist. Some sacred sovereigns also vomited blood and were sent flying. Not good. Run quickly. When the others saw this scene, they fled even more frantically. Damn it! The hazy figure roared into the sky, and a terrifying power swept out. In an instant, screams rang out. He stared at Lin Wuti. Damn brat. How dare you ruin my plans? He turned into a stream of light and rushed out. In front, Fire Qilin, who had already retreated, also had a change in expression. He sped up and fled in another direction. Lin Xian and the others' pupils constricted. Not good. That person came out. Run quickly. They sped up, but they realized that the figure had locked onto them. Damn it, he's coming for me. Lin Xian's expression changed. What should we do? Fight it out with him? Yenryu said. Lin Xian shook his head. No, this person was very scary. Let's go to the stone door first. He guessed that this person had an extraordinary background. If the ancient coffin really buried his body, then this person was definitely a quasi-emperor. He couldn't fight against the remnant soul of a quasi-emperor. Therefore, they sped up. They directly rushed towards the stone door in front of them. At this moment, the stone door was still extremely frightened because there was also the corpse of a quasi-emperor inside the stone door. However, Lin Xian couldn't care less. Sword Qi surrounded his body, forming a sword domain, and an indestructible power enveloped everyone. Then he rushed into the stone door. After entering, everyone felt their hair stand on end. Although it was just a corpse, it made their blood boil. Lin Xian and the others bowed respectfully to the corpse. Senior, please forgive us. We didn't want to disturb you, but we really had no choice now. Senior, please forgive us. Yunyu, Zixing, and the others also kept bowing. At this time, a storm appeared outside, and then the hazy figure came again. He stood not far in front of them, only a few meters away. He's here. Zixing and the others were nervous. Murong Qingcheng and the others were also on guard. Lin Xian's face was cold. Senior, why are you chasing me? Are you going to treat me to a drink? Kid, how dare you ruin my plans? How do you want to die? Now, I'll give you a chance to change. Come back with me, obediently go up the Jade platform and open the ancient coffin. Then I can spare you this time. The hazy figure's voice was incomparably cold. However, Lin Xian shook his head. I've said it before. I'm not interested in that thing. You'd better find someone else. It's all because of you. The others have already run away. You ruined my plans. I'll tear you to pieces. It roared, and the 9 heavens and 10 lands shook. At this moment, everyone felt a chill run down their spine. That figure was chasing after Lin Wuti, right? It's over. Lin Xian is dead meat. They knew that the voice was extremely terrifying. Would Lin Xian be able to withstand it? After hearing this, Lin Xian's face darkened. Do you really think that I'm a pushover and easy to bully? If you really piss me off, you won't be able to keep your secret. Chapter 5286. Hearing this, the mysterious figure's expression changed, and a murderous aura surged out of his body. Kid, what did you say? Could it be that the other party had already found out about his secret? But how was that possible? He definitely did not believe it. You're just a young ant. What do you know? What do I know? Lin Xian sneered. You'll be scared to death if I tell you. Get lost now. Otherwise, if you anger me, you won't have a good time. With a cold shout, the mysterious figure was so angry that he almost vomited blood. How dare the other party tell him to get lost? Yen Ruyu also laughed. She looked forward and said, Do you think that you're high and mighty and can control everything? Everyone should be afraid of you. But what a pity. You've really found the wrong person today. Kid, do you believe that I can kill you and your companions with one slap? The murderous aura of the mysterious figure became more and more terrifying. Lin Xian sneered. Stop pretending. If you could attack me, you would have done it long ago. Come in if you can. Stand in front of me, and I'll kill you with one slap. The mysterious figure outside was so angry that he was trembling. No one had dared to be arrogant in front of him for tens of thousands of years. In the next moment, he really walked forward. Yun Yue, Zixing, and the others were laughing at first, but when they saw this scene, they almost cried again. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed. Could it be that this guy could really enter? But soon he was relieved. This was because although the other party was walking forward, he did not enter the stone door. He knew that he had guessed correctly. No matter how strong the other party was, he was just a boundary emperor. There was a boundary emperor's corpse behind the stone door. It was impossible for the other party to enter. Why, he still doesn't dare to enter. Lin Xian sneered. You're just a boundary emperor's remnant soul, at most. You don't have much strength left. Don't try to act mysterious in front of me. Swear on your remnant soul that you won't attack us again, and I'll keep your secret. Otherwise, I'll let everyone know your secret, and you won't be able to complete your plan. What? He's a boundary emperor's remnant soul? This time, Morong Qingcheng and the others were shocked. They were guessing the origin of this mysterious figure, but they didn't expect it to be so terrifying. They subconsciously looked at the quasi-emperor corpse next to them. Could it be the remnant soul of the senior? No, if it was the remnant soul of that senior, how could it not dare to enter? He was another quasi-emperor. You actually know. The mysterious figure in front of him was truly too shocking. Could it be that the other party had discovered his greatest secret? But that shouldn't be the case. How did he know? I'll count to 3. If you don't swear and scram, I'll tell the world. Lin Xian shouted coldly. He began to count down. The hazy figure gritted his teeth. Although Lin Xian had ruined his plan this time, he could still wait in the future. If others knew about this, then he might not be able to carry out his plan. Then he would never see the light of day again. He gritted his teeth and said, Brat, you win. Just you wait. As he spoke, his figure flashed and disappeared. Did he leave? Purple Star, Yun Yu, and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He opened his right eye, the Rinnegan, and looked around. He shook his head and said, He hasn't left. He's hiding not far away. What should I do? Lin Xian also frowned. Let's stay here and cultivate first. He didn't have a good way to deal with the remnant soul of a quasi-emperor. That was a quasi-emperor, an existence on par with Lord Alcohol. Although it was just a remnant soul, its power was definitely not something that a saint could understand. Although Lin Xian had many trump cards, how many of them could he use in this mysterious cave? He wasn't sure. After waiting for 3 days, Lin Xian also frowned. He stood up. Are you still not going to scram? With an angry shout, a ray of reincarnation light appeared in his eyes and shot toward the void in the distance. The void there shattered, and a hazy figure appeared. The figure was also surprised that he had been discovered. He stared at the other party's right eye. He felt a mysterious power in the other party's eye. I didn't expect you to have such a magical eye. No wonder you could discover my existence. You must have relied on this side to discover my secret. The mysterious figure finally knew the reason. Lin Xian snorted coldly and didn't hide it. Yes, what else do you want? Boy, do you think I can't hurt you just because you're inside the stone door? In my eyes, you're just a little ant. As long as you leave the stone door, I can crush you with one finger. And I have plenty of time. I've waited for tens of thousands of years. I don't care about waiting another tens of thousands of years. Can you afford to wait? Unless you stay inside and don't come out. Hearing this, the face of the person inside the stone door turned ugly. Lin Xian also gritted his teeth. This old thing is really difficult to deal with. How many tens of thousands of years can you wait? You're just a quasi-emperor. I don't believe you're immortal. The mysterious figure also snorted coldly after hearing this. Young man, you're too young. You don't know how to enter the emperor realm. What kind of power is this? It's far beyond any of your records. Moreover, I'm not an ordinary quasi-emperor. My background is not something you can imagine. The power of this cave is enough to let me live for tens of thousands of years. So I can afford to wait. Yan Ruyu and Murong Qingcheng were shocked. That's not right. A living emperor can only live for 10 to 20,000 years. A remnant soul can live for 10,000 years. Isn't that too unbelievable? Lin Xian also frowned. Who knows? It might be different when you're alive and when you're dead. Moreover, do emperors really only live for 10 to 20,000 years? No one knows. No one has seen the corpse of an emperor before. Hearing this, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. What's going on? Could it be that the information they received earlier was false? There's an even more mysterious existence in the emperor realm? Lin Xian shook his head. It's all just a guess. He's right. Even a quasi-emperor has surpassed the sage realm and entered the emperor realm. It's not something we can understand. Now, let's think of a way to leave this place. He wouldn't wait here with the other party for tens of thousands of years. What should I do? Revive the heaven-devouring jar? There should be some kind of suppression here. Murong Qingcheng and the others also frowned. Lin Xian looked around. He looked at the corpse of the quasi-emperor. Yan Ryu said, "You don't want to use his power, do you? With your soul force, you can't support it." Lin Xian also sighed. He said, "Let's use the heaven-swallowing jar." Lin Xian decided to bring the other party into the sword world and then use the heaven-swallowing jar and the great dragon sword spirit to take care of the other party. In the next moment, he took a deep breath and walked forward. "Brother Xian, you have to be careful." Murong Qingcheng and the others were nervous. After all, the other party was the remnant soul of a quasi-emperor. Seeing Lin Xian walk out, the quasi-emperor's soul was also stunned. In the next moment, he laughed out loud. "Ha ha ha, stupid thing. Watch how I kill you." He rushed over and arrived in front of Lin Xian in an instant. Then he flicked a finger. And pointed at Lin Xian's forehead. In his opinion, a single finger was enough to kill the other party 10,000 times. Chapter 5287. Lin Xian's pupils constricted as he felt a fatal crisis. He had to admit that the other party was too strong. However, he decisively activated the sword world. The sky and earth spun as the mysterious figure was wrapped up. The next moment, it disappeared. Where was this? The mysterious figure was also stunned. Had he been teleported? He looked around, but before he could see what was going on, he saw a black jar smashing towards his face. In the next moment, a vortex appeared, and he found that his surroundings were pitch black. He was enveloped. Damn it, what was this? Get lost! The mysterious person roared again, and the sky fell, and the earth cracked. The black vortex also shook violently. However, it did not completely disappear. This shocked him. Extreme Tao aura. You actually have an extreme weapon, and you can even use it. This was impossible. He was really too shocked. If it was outside, it would be possible, but in this cave, it was absolutely impossible to use an extreme weapon. How did the other party do it? Was it very unexpected? Very shocked? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Haven't you always been high and mighty and controlling everything? Didn't you not put others in your eyes? Didn't you say that I was a little ant that you could destroy with a wave of your hand? I'm standing right here. You can destroy me. Lin Xian said as he activated the swallowing heaven jar with all his might. The black vortex was like a millstone of death, constantly crushing. He wanted to shatter the other party's soul. Stupid ant, you've completely infuriated me. The mysterious figure roared angrily as a terrifying light emitted from his eyes. It was like a divine light piercing through heaven and earth. It actually passed through the black vortex and charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils constricted as he continuously used the swallowing heaven jar. Countless vortexes were created to defend his body. To be honest, he was also shocked. The swallowing heaven jar almost couldn't suppress the other party, as expected of a quasi-emperor. And this was only a remnant soul. If it was the soul of a quasi-emperor, he probably wouldn't be a match at all. Even with an extreme weapon, he wouldn't be able to defeat the other party. But now, that might not be the case. He was still able to contend against a remnant soul. Seeing that the heaven-devouring jar had blocked the other party's attack, Lin Xian took out the great dragon sword soul and walked forward. He laughed coldly. Today, I'll let you know the consequences of offending me. As he spoke, he slashed out with his sword. He swung his sword 9 times in a row, and all of them landed on the mysterious figure. He wanted to smash it into pieces. The mysterious figure's body swayed as he was struck by the sword chi. He let out a crazy roar. This scene shocked even Lin Xian. It didn't split. He was too shocked. This mysterious figure was like water, slashing into the water with his saber. The water would not stop flowing, but that shouldn't be the case. The great dragon sword soul was indestructible. After being split open, it would be very difficult for it to recover. It had to be said that the soul of a quasi-emperor was indeed superior to everything. While Lin Xian was shocked, the mysterious figure was even more shocked. Damn it, how dare you make me feel pain? I will definitely tear you to shreds. He was really crazy. Although his remnant soul didn't shatter, he still felt pain. What was that? He looked into the distance. The great dragon sword soul. You even have this thing? Damn it, he roared again. How dare you threaten me? Lin Xian was also angry. So what if I can't split you? It hurts. He continued to swing his sword, slashing out 3,000 sword lights, all of which pierced through the other party's body. These dragon-shaped sword energies passed through the other party's body. The mysterious figure let out a miserable cry. Useless kid, I've said it before. You don't understand the Emperor realm. He is completely different from you saints. Even if you have an extreme weapon and the great dragon sword soul, you can't kill me. You can't even hurt me. This is the difference between us. And you should face reality. As long as you give me a chance, I won't let you off, including your friends and everyone you know. I will send them to the 18 levels of hell. Lin Xian was also angry after hearing this. The great dragon sword soul transformed into a dragon-shaped hand and slapped out. The great dragon sword soul was invincible. It was an offensive saint technique. This kind of transformation was not a problem. He swung his dragon claw and slapped the other party's face, slapping the other party's face. Bang! The voice was as low as thunder. The mysterious figure's face kept shaking. Like a lake, it quickly calmed down. However, his eyes were burning and his body was trembling. Damn it, the other party dared to slap his face. What kind of existence was he? He was a quasi-emperor. He was high and mighty, incomparable. He didn't put anything in his eyes. Now, someone dared to slap his face? He couldn't stand death. I want you to die. It roared crazily and began to attack the heaven-swallowing jar. As long as this extreme weapon was sent flying, that kid would definitely die. Lin Xian felt a huge pressure. His face was pale. At the same time, he roared, "Give me strength!" outside. When the Hellfire Dragon heard this, he quickly mobilized the power of the Sword World and poured it into the heaven-swallowing jar. At the same time, he was shocked. This time, I feel an extremely terrifying aura. It's not weaker than that old guy. What kind of terrifying existence did this kid provoke again? After the heaven-swallowing jar obtained new power, it once again erupted with power and suppressed the mysterious figure. Lin Xian laughed. "What, you want to escape?" The dragon claw slapped the other party's face again. Ha ha ha. The dragon sword's spirit changed form. Lin Xian slapped the other party's face while using the dragon-shaped sword chi to pierce through the other party. Although the other party's body was like a lake, it could recover at any time. But Lin Xian was still very happy. This was a quasi-emperor. He was beating up a quasi-emperor. "Come, bark 3 times like a dog, and I'll let you go." Lin Xian slapped the other party and laughed coldly. The mysterious silhouette was truly enraged. "Young man, you're playing with fire. You can't keep suppressing me. When you don't have the strength to control these 2 weapons, it will be your time of death." "I don't have the strength." "Humph, my strength is not something you can imagine. Today, I'll beat you to death. I'll let you know what arrogance is." As he spoke, Lin Xian slapped the other party's face with both hands. Satisfying. This is really satisfying. In the end, he used the dragon sword spirit to transform into a dragon foot. With a kick, the other party's face was deformed. At the same time, he formed an array with his left hand and laughed coldly. "Do you think I should use an array to record this? You're probably the first quasi-emperor in history to be beaten up by a saint. I think if this spread out, it would be very interesting." Buffed! The mysterious figure almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Endless white smoke rose from his head. He was so angry that he was fuming. "Ha ha!" Lin Xian laughed. He really used an array to record everything. "Come, look here." Lin Xian grabbed the other party's face and gave him a tight slap as he lectured. But at the same time, his heart was heavy, because he knew that with his strength he couldn't control these 2 weapons for a long time. Chapter 5288. Lin Xian was beating up the quasi-emperor. Outside, Yan Ruyu and the others were extremely nervous. The others were even more bewildered. Was Lin Wuyi dead? In their opinion, it was very likely. At the same time, a figure appeared in another place where the jade platform was located. That figure was dressed in cloth clothes. His face was calm, but his eyes were deep. It was Yao Guang. He looked at the ancient coffin in front of him and laughed excitedly. "That's great. I've really found it. The corpse buried here must be extraordinary. It is very likely that it is an ancient supermighty. If I devour it, my strength will increase exponentially. At that time, Hun Tian and Lin Wuyi will not be my match. I am the strongest supreme martial artist of the younger generation." Yao Guang was overjoyed and walked towards the jade platform. During this time, he felt a huge pressure. The immortal King Phantom. He used the Yi family's secret technique and the Gu family's secret technique at the same time. His spatial divine ability was constantly changing. Sometimes he turned into a heavenly rock, and sometimes the power of the 5 elements condensed around him. These were the powerhouses he had swallowed before. He could use the power of these people. Finally, he arrived at the top of the jade platform. Looking at the ancient coffin, He stretched out his hands. "Open for me!" With an angry roar, he pushed its power with all his might. The immortal king phantom seemed to have fused with him, but the ancient coffin did not move at all. Damn it! Yao Guang's expression was ugly. How could he give up at this point? He took out a few weapons and placed them in different places of the ancient coffin. These were all sacred artifacts. "Break!" Yao Guang roared angrily and used his void divine ability to escape. However, the sacred artifacts cracked, and a destructive power swept through the entire cave abode. After a wave of shaking, Yao Guang tore through the void and returned. His face was a little dark, because he found that the ancient coffin below still did not move at all. Could it not be broken? He gritted his teeth and could only use other powers. He bit his finger and drew a few blood-colored runes and imprinted them on the ancient coffin. In the next moment, he formed a seal with his palms and used an ancient divine ability. It was a secret technique of the Purple Mansion. A blood-colored vortex formed above, and then a white bone hand stretched out from it. It held a divine hammer and smashed down fiercely. Sky-breaking hammer. The light-shaking realm blood mysteriously disappeared. The ancient coffin gently swayed and opened with a cracking sound. A trace of aura emerged from within. With a boom, the heaven-breaking hammer shattered into pieces and disappeared. Light-shaking realm cultivator was also sent flying by this wave of energy, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Cracks appeared on his body. However, he became ecstatic. This was great. It was not the corpse of a saint. This was definitely the corpse of a quasi-emperor. If he had swallowed a quasi-emperor, just how terrifying was his strength? From now on, who in the world would be his match? He was so excited that he was about to cry. At the same time, the aura swept out in all directions. The others all sensed it. Heavens, what kind of aura is this? They were so frightened that they prostrated themselves on the ground. Quasi-emperor. It was the aura of a quasi-emperor. Had the quasi-emperor behind the stone door come back to life? They all prepared to leave. Morong Qingcheng, Yan Ruyu, and the others' expressions also changed. What had happened? Sword World. Inside the heaven-swallowing pot, Lin Xian was currently beating up the quasi-emperor. At the same time, he was using a formation to record the situation here. The quasi-emperor was so angry that he was hovering between life and death. He had never been as sullen as he was today, but suddenly he was stunned. In the next moment, he roared towards the sky. "Who opened the ancient coffin? The heavens are helping me, brat. Just you wait for death." He laughed out loud, as if he had grabbed onto a life-saving straw in the sea of death. Originally, he thought that the one who had the most hope of opening the ancient coffin was Lin Xian, the brat in front of him. Where did he think of it? Not at all. When he left, someone actually opened the ancient coffin. No matter who it was, they had helped him fulfill his greatest wish. What? Lin Xian's pupils constricted when he heard this. The ancient coffin was opened? Impossible, don't try to lie to me. However, the mysterious person didn't care at all. He roared angrily, and his body pushed back the great dragon sword spirit. With a full-force attack, he sent the heaven-swallowing pot flying. He rushed out. Lin Xian was pushed back by him, and the sword world opened once again. A figure flew out, and then directly flew into the distance, disappearing. Lin Xian's qi and blood churned, and when he felt that power, his face became extremely ugly. "Brother Xian, how is it?" Morong Qingcheng and the others were nervous. Lin Xian said, "I'm fine, but things are not good. Someone opened the ancient coffin." "Lin Gongzi, what exactly is inside the ancient coffin?" Madame Purple Star was also surprised. Was it an important magic treasure? Lin Xian shook his head. It was a corpse, the corpse of a quasi-emperor. It was the figure from before. What? When these words came out, they were all shocked. To be honest, they had never known about this before. It was just a guess. He didn't expect it to be the corpse of a quasi-emperor and the remnant soul of a quasi-emperor. With the fusion of the two, would the quasi-emperor be resurrected? That guy was obviously an enemy. Once he was resurrected, he would target them. They were in danger. Let's go. Murong Qingcheng and the others looked nervous. Lin Xian also nodded. It seemed that this was the only way they had to end their trip to the immortal land early. They soared into the air and flew outside. On the jade platform, Yao Guang walked forward again. He used the demonic sky-devouring technique to devour the quasi-emperor's corpse. However, in the next moment, he was sent flying again because a mysterious figure appeared in front of him. Looking at the ancient coffin, he laughed loudly. Ha ha ha! The heavens are helping me! In the next moment, the mysterious figure flew directly into the ancient coffin. Then, an earth-shattering power erupted. Yao Guang's expression became ugly. He tore open the void and instantly escaped. However, half of his body turned into a bloody mist. The others were the same. They were all vomiting blood from the impact. At this moment, even the sacred leader knelt down. This power was too strong, so strong that they couldn't resist it. Kun Pengzi was shocked, and the Fire Qilin's pupils constricted. Oh no, this is a power that surpasses the sage. An emperor-level power has appeared? It's too unbelievable. Lin Xian and the others originally wanted to escape, but when they felt this power, they were also forced to retreat, their blood boiling. No, its fused quickly returned to the stone gate. They instantly turned back. There was no choice. If the quasi-emperor really revived, they wouldn't be able to escape. Now, only the other type of quasi-emperor's corpse could protect them. This power was still rising. It was obvious that the fusion of the two was becoming more and more perfect. At this moment, not only the entire Origin Magnet cave mansion, but the entire deity ground was alarmed. One figure after another looked up at the sky and prostrated on the ground. Oh heavens, what kind of power is this? A peerless expert is about to appear. Not only the power of the deity ground, but also outside. He flew towards the Yuhua immortal dynasty. In the Yuhua ancient city, the experts were still waiting and discussing. They wondered how many people would have their own opportunities in this trip to the deity ground. However, at this moment, a shocking power flew out from inside. It blasted them away. These elders also vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Someone exclaimed, "Who attacked them?" No, it came from the deity ground. This was the power of a quasi-emperor. A quasi-emperor appeared in the deity ground. Chapter 5289. They were really too shocked. What did the appearance of a quasi-emperor mean? Did someone become a quasi-emperor, or did some dead quasi-emperors in the Yuhua immortal land revive? No matter which one it was an earth-shattering matter. They couldn't imagine what happened in the immortal ground. Quickly inform our hall masters. These elders quickly reported. The hall masters of the various immortal platforms were also shocked when they heard about it. Damn it, quickly think of a way to open the Yuhua gate. They had to go in and figure out the situation. If the dead quasi-emperors in the ancestral land were revived, then they were from the Yuhua immortal dynasty. Their Yuhua immortal dynasty would definitely be able to create glory after becoming a quasi-emperor. And in the immortal ground, countless people were shocked and terrified. On the jade platform, in the ancient coffin, a figure stood up. This was a man. He was mighty and extraordinary, and his body was surrounded by powerful laws and power. A single look from him could destroy heaven and earth. With a gentle wave of his palm, countless worlds would be reduced to ashes. He was a quasi-emperor. "I'm out. Ha ha ha." This quasi-emperor laughed loudly. In the next moment, an extremely terrifying killing intent erupted from his eyes. Little thing, you actually dared to torture me before. I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. At the thought of Lin Xian, he gritted his teeth. This time, let's see how the other party will die. Taking a step forward, his figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the stone door. Brat, have you already thought about how you want to die? Seeing Lin Xian and the others inside the stone door, the quasi-emperor's lips curled up into a smile. The other powerhouses in the distance originally wanted to come to the stone door to see if it was the kind of corpse that could be revived. But before they could reach it, they saw a figure descend from the sky. Heavens, who is this person? It's not the kind of quasi-emperor in the stone door, but another kind of quasi-emperor. Heavens, this is too unbelievable. They were terrified and didn't dare to approach at all. They could only watch from afar. Inside the stone door, Zi Xingyue and the others' expressions became incomparably desperate. In Murong Qingcheng, Yan Ruyu also had solemn expressions. This was a peerless enemy. How terrifying a quasi-emperor was. It was unimaginable. When Lord Alcohol came out, he scared away the Thousand Dragons dynasty with just a few words. Now they were standing in front of a quasi-emperor. Would they be able to withstand it? Lin Xian's expression also became abnormally ugly. He had really been revived by the other party. Damn it, who is it? Who? Open the coffin. The quasi-emperor in front laughed coldly. Why? Do you think you can avoid danger by hiding behind the stone door? What a joke. A mere magnetism, quasi-emperor's corpse can't do anything to me. Today, I will let you know the consequences of offending me. As he said that, he extended his hand and grabbed forward. As the sky fell and the earth cracked, the stone door also shook unceasingly. From the looks of it, the other party was no longer afraid of the corpse behind the stone door. Lin Xian also roared. He instantly took out the great dragon sword spirit and exerted all of his strength. He killed his way out. The sword shook the heavens like a dancing dragon. The two collided, and Lin Xian was sent flying. Countless cracks appeared on his body as he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. He was severely injured. Older brother Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and Yan Ruyu's expressions also changed. Was the gap that big? Was this the power of a quasi-emperor? It was too shocking. One had to know that Lin Xian was using the great dragon sword spirit, an invincible power. It's useless, kid. So, what if you have the great dragon sword spirit? The gap between our cultivation is too big. So big that you can't make up for it. An extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes, and then he pointed out with a finger. Lin Xian's body shattered into pieces. Then, his eyes were shrouded in an extremely terrifying light. It enveloped Lin Xian's body. Damn it! Block it for me! Lin Xian roared, and used the Rinnegan with all his strength. Immediately, the power of reincarnation flew out, forming 6 worlds that kept spinning to resist. With a boom, Lin Xian was sent flying again, spitting out blood. The quasi-emperor was also surprised. You have the Rinnegan too. It seems that I really can't bear to kill you. The 9-Yang Constitution, the Rinnegan, the Great Dragon Sword, and the Sky-Devouring Jar are all treasures. I will take your Rinnegan first, then take the Great Dragon Sword and the Sky-Devouring Jar. Who in the world can contend against me? The quasi-emperor laughed out loud. He was very happy that he could obtain so many treasures as soon as he was resurrected. How could he not be happy? Lin Xian's face was cold. He was in great danger. The quasi-emperor's strength was too terrifying. At the moment, he couldn't resist at all. Even if he took out the Sky-Devouring Jar again, he might not be his opponent. If he brought the other party into the Sword World, he felt that the Sword World might not be able to suppress the other party. Then, only the corpse of this quasi-emperor could be used by Lin Xian. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth. In the distance, the spectators were also shocked when they saw this scene. Heavens, is that Lin Wudi? He was actually unable to fight back against the Quasi-Emperor. He's dead for sure. That's for sure. Unfortunately, he has so many treasures on him that we can't get them. You still want to snatch treasures from the Quasi-Emperor? Do you want to die? He can kill all of us with just one look. Countless people were terrified. In the crowd, Kuan Pengzi looked at this scene and sighed. The Fire Qilin sneered. Is he dead? That's good. I don't have to do it. Kid, leave behind any last words. The Quasi-Emperor in front said coldly. The light of reincarnation in Lin Xian's eyes suddenly erupted. He shouted angrily, Senior, please forgive me. His soul suddenly rushed towards the Quasi-Emperor's corpse. At the same time, he waved his hand and brought Morong Qingcheng and the others into the sword world, including his main body. In the next moment, everyone saw a shocking flash of light. Then Lin Xian and the others disappeared. What's going on? Did that kid use a spatial ability to escape? Some people were surprised. However, there were also people who shook their heads. No matter what spatial ability he had, even the top genius of the Gu family, Gu Feng, could not escape. There was no escape here either. The power of a Quasi-Emperor was above everything else. The ninth firmament Quasi-Emperor's face turned cold. He naturally knew that the other party was not escaping through the void. It was just that the aura of these people suddenly disappeared, which really surprised him. It seemed that this kid still had treasures that he did not know about. In the next moment, he frowned. He could feel that Lin Xian's soul had entered the body of the Quasi-Emperor magnetism in front of him. You want to use this Quasi-Emperor's corpse? Humph, you can't do it. He sneered and attacked the corpse of the Quasi-Emperor magnetism with his palm. Get out here. Lin Xian's soul entered the body of the Quasi-Emperor. He felt a wave of fear. There was too much power in the Quasi-Emperor's body. It made his scalp tingle. He shouted angrily and opened his Rinnegan. In the sky of the sword world, a Rinnegan eye appeared. Give me power. With a roar, the Rinnegan formed a world and absorbed the power of the sword world. Then, it merged into Lin Xian's soul. Lin Xian's soul received the support of power, and his eyes shone brightly. In the next moment, he shouted angrily, and Rose, you're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.